needs a functioning Congress. And that's what the overwhelming majority of the members in this body demonstrated today.
Johnson reacting to the defeat of an effort to oust him from the speakership. The effort was led by Georgia's Marjorie Taylor Greene, complaining that Johnson has been far too willing to work with Democrats. Eyes to the skies today across parts of the South and the Midwest. Forecasters say more violent storms are possible today following yesterday's wicked weather.
Columbia, Tennessee resident Eva Gray Howard and her husband sat in their truck and prayed Wednesday evening as they watched a tornado rip through their city.
Here it comes. Feel it? Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Jesus, please. Oh my heavens.
The storms left 2 people dead in Tennessee and 1 in North Carolina. I'm Donna Warder.
If Israel invades Rafah going in to wipe out Hamas, President Biden vows the U.S. will withhold weaponry from Israel.
Rafah is the last major Hamas stronghold in Gaza, but the president is concerned for the well-being of more than 1 million civilians sheltering there. He told CNN the U.S. would not supply weapons and artillery shells if Israel goes into Rafah. The warning came after the Pentagon confirmed that the Biden administration paused a shipment of heavy bombs to Israel last week.
White House correspondent Greg Clugston. Following Tuesday's salacious testimony, Stormy Daniels due back on the stand today at former President Trump's trial in New York. Under a gag order and blocked from campaigning, Mr. Trump decries the trial as another case of Biden election interference. On Wall Street, the Dow futures down 78 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-355-4107 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-355-4107. That's 800-355-4107. What do you have to lose? Call 800-355-4107. Again, 800-355-4107.
Oh, those pesky wild boars. They're causing big trouble in one European country which has declared war on the animals.
Italy exports 4.5 million hams every year in an industry worth more than $20 billion to the Italian economy. In recent months, increasing numbers of countries have banned imports after several cases of swine fever were found, not on farms, but in wild boars living in the countryside. Their numbers have expanded rapidly in recent years. Control measures such as extensive fencing and extending the hunting season have failed to solve the problem. Now soldiers with specialist equipment are to be deployed to cull more than 1 million wild boar over the next 5 years.
The BBC's Nikki Cardwell. The Bank of England keeping its main UK interest rate at a 16-year high, 5.25%, although it gave a broad hint that a reduction could be in the cards as soon as next month, as inflation is forecast to fall below its target. Townhall.com. The world becoming increasingly dependent on renewable sources of energy.
According to a new report by Ember, which is a think tank based in London, a record 30% of global electricity was generated from renewables last year. Ember also predicts that 2023 was likely the peak of fossil fuel electricity generation. Hydroelectric dams produced the most renewable energy, yet droughts in India, China, North America, and Mexico meant that hydropower actually hit a 5-year low. Solar power made up the biggest share of new clean energy with a surge in solar installations at the end of the year. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Loaves of bread have been taken off store shelves in Japan after an unwanted additive. The remains of a small animal thought to be a rat were found. Production has been halted at a Tokyo factory and 104,000 packages of the bread have been recalled. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, Whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The Travelician, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Yes, sir. The penultimate day of your work week.
Yeah, it's already a blow.
Yeah, it's already kind of breezy, which that does not bode well for the later part of the day.
Well, and to be honest, they're not talking bad winds for us today. They're
really?
saying like 10 to 15 mile an hour winds, mid-80s.
All right.
But
mid-80s, you say?
That's what they say.
Dang.
86.
All right.
76, but today, 80.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it over 94 any day.
Well, and then we got pretty good chance of the rain this weekend, Saturday. So we'll see.
I was driving around, it was like noon-ish yesterday, and I was trying to find an angle where I could drive my car and not have the sun beating directly down onto this part of my arm. Because, like...
The trucker's tan.
Yeah, the hardcore.
Yeah.
But specifically, like, this section of my arm is starting to, like, hurt when the sun hits it. I'm like, that's either a sunburn or cancer.
Time to go to 3/4 length shirts.
That's what I'm thinking. Going baseball tees. But every angle, I was trying to east, west, north, south, no matter which way I angled my car, it was just straight in the window.
We're going to have to get you some sunscreen to keep in the car.
Yeah, or some tint.
Just so you can lotion up the left side of your body.
Yeah. I have a problem with sunscreen. It's mostly, it just always makes me feel gross. I don't like using it because it makes me feel just oily.
There's
and
different
sticky.
types.
Yeah, but most of the ones I've tried, and like the lotions are okay, but most of the ones I've tried, just, I don't like them.
Even like the ones that aren't
the
creams.
spray. Yeah, even the spray. Still, because it leaves like a film.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like underneath like an invisible me coating. You know, I don't like it.
It's better than burnt.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, no, I'll take the good over the bad. I'm just saying I don't like the the journey.
Yeah, get that.
That's all that is.
Well, maybe you just need to do a visor contraption situation.
Now, you do that thing where like you turn your arm over. Like maybe if I just expose the white part of the arm, it'll be okay.
Give your car wings.
Yeah, right.
Just put a set of strap wings to the top. That'll put some shade.
Oh yeah.
Over the driver and passenger side windows.
I already drive a fire engine red vehicle. It's not like I need to be less nondescript.
But it's tiny, make it, that way you can the wings could protect your lane. So when they try to muscle you out with your tiny car, you're like, no, it's with wings.
Yeah, but what happens when I hit like 88.9 miles an hour and then I just take off? That's scary.
Enjoy the ride.
I don't know, because then it's the dismount that I'm worried about.
Your car could get 88 miles per hour.
Man. Shut up. I've hit 90 in that thing.
Downhill.
Like once. Yes, downhill.
Hey, he's coming from he was coming off the Ski Apache mountain down that hill.
That's the joke on American Dad. It's the whole 88 miles an hour with a DeLorean.
Right.
It's not because that's like the speed necessary. It's just that's literally a DeLorean's top speed.
That's the high end on it. You got to floor it. But it could get 88 miles per hour in the mall parking lot.
That's right.
In a short pet, so it's got good pickup, even though it's got low top end. Because those Libyans were about to take them out and got up to 88.
Oh, my God, Libyans.
They were Libyans, if I remember right, weren't they?
You know, every time like a movie like that or a TV show comes out, and there's like a national enemy. There's a whole debate that goes on in the writers' room about which nation are we gonna offend.
You could tell our time periods in history by just who's the enemy in the movie.
Right. Yeah, because like if you go back and look at like Command and Conquer, like the first 3 or 4 games, it was all the Arabs. And then after 9/11
there were some Russians.
There were some Russians, yeah. But then 9/11 happened. They're like, well, maybe we shouldn't directly force hate onto that nation.
I'll give you Hot Shots movies. Because when are you going after Saddam? In the second one.
Fluffer and succotash.
Look at the Rambo movie. Like it was the Vietnam one, and then it was the Russians, and then so depending on the era of Rambo, you got the Vietnamese, you got the Russians. I feel like there was an Arab one in there.
Pretty
too.
much the entirety of the 80s. Anytime you see like a non-American enemy, it was the Russians.
Yeah.
Almost universally.
Yeah. I think of movies like the original.
Well, Red Dawn is what I thought.
Red Dawn. Red Dawn. Wolverines. Yeah.
Wolverines.
But the second one, are they Russians or are they something else? I don't remember. I've seen the second one, but it was only once.
I don't think I've never seen the second one.
I did watch it once, and I was like, but I honestly don't remember. Because Chris Hemsworth's in that one, right? Isn't that a Hemsworth joint?
I don't remember.
I think it was.
I honestly don't remember.
It's been a minute since I... Fun fact, for those that don't know, the first one was filmed in Las Vegas, New Mexico.
Really?
Parts of it, at least.
Nice.
Yeah, that's one of Las Vegas, New Mexico's claim to fame.
I feel like the 80s was like the perfect era for the sequel being better than the original.
Yeah.
Because like Short Circuit 2, okay, hot take. Short Circuit 2, better than the original.
Really?
Yes. 100%.
I don't remember that at the time. But it's been a minute since I've seen both.
I can endlessly quote Short Circuit 2. One was you need input.
I seem to remember after Short Circuit 1, I was quoting The Friend. You will be awarded the cake and all those. now that we look at it.
Painfully white guy, by the way. Like he was very
But he had
white.
all the one-liners that I quoted.
I'm standing right here beside myself. But Short Circuit 1 didn't have Los Locos kick your ass.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, but that... You know what? It went all Police Academy on us.
It did go Police Academy, very much.
Yeah. Now that I think about it.
But yeah, it was the era where the sequel just tended to be better. Like First Blood, fine. Rambo, that's the one everybody remembers. Not First Blood, but Rambo.
Yeah.
So First Blood 2, Rambo.
Although
1.
I know from First Blood.
Sure.
Because I remember that's the one with Dennehy and he's just going through the small town and you do First Blood, not me. That whole thing. But now I just had a thought. Did you notice every 80s gangster, like gang member, like from the 80s movies, why does it look like either West Side Story or, you know what I mean? Like all the bad guys, like gang members in 80s movies look like they're in a West Side Story cast. Like they're all dancers. They're all, they all like wear the leather and all that, but it looks weirdly Michael Jackson, a little less like they're in
80s. The 80s was sort of like post-camp.
Yeah.
It's like you had the 70s, and most of the movies of the 70s were very campy and very like,
But like Police Academies, like Bobcat Gold. I mean, look at him. Yeah, he's a gang guy, but he looks like,
the argument
he's
is
hanging out on the LA Strip, waiting for concerts.
Because you got actors. I mean, they're actors. There's only so many actors out there in the field, and if you're looking for somebody to look like a gangbanger.
I just was thinking about and then when you did Los Locos, there's another one.
Yeah. No one. They did. They were wearing like a vest. I think one guy was wearing suspenders.
Yeah, it was look like a dance troupe.
You flash back to the Warriors. None of them dudes look like they belonged in a gang.
Exactly. That's my point. That's what I was saying. Every 80s like movie where they show young ruffians, they look like they're they look like they're in a dance troupe.
It's actually kind of funny you mention that because that reminds me of when I was a kid, we did DARE, which was Drug Abuse Resistance Education.
I remember that program.
But we also had a program that was an offshoot of DARE called GREAT. Do you remember this one?
I do not know GREAT.
That was Gang Resistance Education and Training.
Okay.
And it was basically how to avoid getting approached by gangsters / wanting to be a part of the gang.
Yeah.
Look at this face. This face right here. There's not a gang in southeastern New Mexico that wants this face in that gang.
Our gang will take it.
Right. Spanky wants me.
Stymie want you. That's it. Well, now that I even think about it, like even the movies of the 80s that were quote unquote not serious, like Colors.
Right.
If you remember the movie Robert Duvall and Sean Penn, Colors, it was controversial movie at the time.
Sure.
But if you watch it by today, even the bad guys in that look like they're in some kind of dance group. And that's supposed to be cutting edge.
I would say that the moment that gang movies got taken seriously was the 90s. Because you had Boys in the Hood, you had like, Menace to Society.
Yeah, it was more of a story about the hood.
Where actors, like legit thespians, were coming forward that actually had that look.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be a stretch, but do you remember the movie, the first part of the movie Bruce Almighty, where he makes the monkey climb out of the gang member's butt?
Yeah, and again, cheesy.
Yeah, but that guy was in like 7 different movies as like the gangbanger. Like he had that look about him.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, that's the guy from Training Day, and this and that.
Sure.
He was in like everything as like the gangbanger.
Oh, and there's always been those stereotyped actors.
Sure, but
certain people are always the cop.
Right. But like if you go back and look, like
politician
in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, most of the people who wanted to be actors had that specific look. They were like, well, I have to be clean cut. I have to be, I have to look like I'm, professional. So you didn't have a lot of like skeevy gangbanger looking types, going out for parts.
Yeah.
But in the 90s, that all changed.
That's true, because now you start seeing like big name actors looking weird because they're getting ready for roles. That's like when I first noticed that.
Right.
It's like, why does Tom Hanks look like he's fat or looks like he's like lost a bunch of weight? Why does he look like a homeless man? Because he's getting ready for another role.
That's when you can always tell when Jonah Hill is getting ready for a role. It's like, what size is Jonah going to be this week?
Right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Which, is he big again?
No, he's tiny.
He's tiny now? Okay.
I think I'm not sure if he's on the Ozempic or what, but he is like itty bitty now.
Okay. I couldn't, because I thought I saw a thing where he blew back up, but then
after You People, because he blew up a bit for You People. Like he got a little bit bigger for You People. And then
that's a movie, not for you.
Not for You People. But after that, I saw him like some TMZ picture or whatever. And yeah, he's like 6-pack svelte.
Wow.
Yeah.
If you're a Hollywood actor making bazillions of dollars, you can be whatever you want to be, I guess. Right?
That's right.
Let me give you the rundown for today's show, because we got our gator rolling. We're going to replay our interview we had with Peggy Boland. She joined us early this week to talk camp invention. The time has come to sign your children up for their camp invention. An awesome week of fun for your kids and learning. But we'll play that interview for you here in just a little bit. In the 8 o'clock hour, around 8:15, we're going to be joined in studio by Elaine Mayfield and Guy Malone, and we're talking about Towel Day. Now, many of your people are going, what is Towel Day? What is this we talk about?
It's like
we'll learn you.
Celebration of the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Towel Day, it has nothing to do with sports. Towel Day is a celebration to honor the man known as Douglas Adams.
Oh, okay. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
He wrote the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So Towel Day, which is celebrated internationally on May the 25th, Roswell is having a Towel Day celebration. It's a 3-day event. They're going to start out with stuff at the Roswell Public Library on Friday the 24th. They're going to have like a con-like event at the convention center on Saturday. And then they're going to have a meet and greet fun day at the UFO Museum on Sunday.
Very cool.
All part of it. So Elaine and Guy are going to join us to do some splaining and ciphering about Towel Day and then talk about some of the events. They've got panels. They've got guest visits. They've got all kinds of costume contests.
Nice.
They got a bevy of fun for 3 days, really, for Towel Day.
Don't forget to bring a towel.
Oh, and that's the other thing. Like, I think the schools will get involved. I think they're going to be going to the library and doing stuff on the last day of school, because I believe that's also the last day of school, celebrating Towel Day and stuff. And then, it's a whole thing. But we'll explain it to you all with Elaine and Guy here in the 8 o'clock hour. And then Crystal Noble with the Humane Society will join us in the 9 o'clock hour, 9:15, to give us an update on pets available for adoption and things going on over at the... They're back at it. People stealing stuff, leaving stuff out the door. I just saw a video they posted yesterday of people looting things from the Humane Society overnight. So, what remind folks about that too.
I have an idea. I have a pitch for Crystal.
Yes.
I just recently saw there's a new camera that they're working on developing.
Mm-hmm.
It is AI controlled.
Okay.
And it recognizes people on your property that shouldn't be there.
Okay.
It gives them 5 seconds and it announces all this. You have 5 seconds to remove yourself from this property.
Okay.
It counts down and then it starts shooting either paintballs or tear gas.
Wow.
Yeah. You can load it with tear gas pellets. So it'll shoot tear gas at your would-be invader.
That's cool. I ain't gonna lie. Can I get that for my house? For like salespeople?
Yeah.
I mean, I really would love that,
Well, I'm a father. Eventually my children will start dating. This thing feels like absolute useful for me.
Man, we could get rid of solicitors. We could get rid of everything.
Yeah.
That.
The Mormons wouldn't be a problem.
Oh, man. I'm just thinking, and I don't know, like, to be honest, at the Humane Society, you might want to go paintball. I wouldn't want to get the animals.
I would say paintball.
I don't want to get the animals sick.
But just activate it at night, when people start to sniff around, maybe drop stuff off they should be
Can
dropping.
Can it go full auto? Like, I just want to see this unload. like Idiocracy. Right. When he literally tells him that he's supposed to go home and he walks out the prison, and like once they realize he's escaped, the guns just start going.
They shoot each other.
Yeah, I want that.
There you go.
Shooting each other, obviously. But
I think it only shoots the one. Although, I bet you could put a bump stock on the thing.
I'm just saying, let's light this place up, man.
One of those trigger things like they have on the 9mm, where it turns it into a machine gun.
Yeah. Unfortunate problem is this thing's probably expensive. Humane Society can't afford something like that yet.
Well, yeah, but if everybody in town donates $1, just saying, we're there.
Help the Humane Society shoot people trying to steal the things that come from there with their. We'll start that campaign. I feel like they won't appreciate that campaign as much as we do.
On sight.
I don't think they'd appreciate that campaign as much. I mean, sentiment, but
It does feel a little less humane.
It's a bad image.
Weren't you guys supposed to be the Humane Society?
I got welts the size of Montana on my chest and back.
I just wanted a kitty.
But then what's going to happen is they're going to know and come prepared, and they're going to look like they're ready for paintball games. And now we got guys that look like motocross people running around stealing stuff. They're going to go to the next level.
There you go.
Then we have to go to hand grenades. But anyway.
Just a whole gang of dudes on dirt bikes rolling up with body armor.
It'll be like the West Side Story. Back to the thing. We're bringing gangsters back to looking like dance crews.
Hey, but this is for protection.
For protection.
That's right.
All right, 7:23. That was a come around. Here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're looking pretty good today. Mid-80s on the afternoon high, sunshine, and not too windy. Overnight will be clearing and our overnight low in the mid-50s. And then for tomorrow, a mix of sunshine and clouds and a little bit cooler. We'll stay in the mid-70s on the afternoon high. Maybe a shower or two on Saturday and then quickly back to sunny weather on Sunday. Highs in the 80s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 60 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 20%. Winds are a-blowing at the moment. Out of the north, 18, gusting to 26 miles per hour. Sunny today, 86 for a high. They're saying north winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, except right now where it's above that. For tonight, mostly clear. Expect an overnight low of 50. East winds 15 to 20. They'll drop down 5 to 10 or 10 to 15 after midnight tonight. Friday, cooler. Partly cloudy, 76 for a high tomorrow. Northeast winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday night, rain chances enter the forecast. We're looking at a 30% chance of rain, and it's pretty much throughout the evening hours. They're saying they're doing this. A chance of showers with to about 9, and then a chance after that. Looks like it's all evening. Rain chances. They're talking mostly cloudy otherwise with an overnight low of 57 and southeast winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, we're looking at a 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms. They say, and it's, some in the morning, but bigger chances for the afternoon. Mostly cloudy for the day and a high of only 69 degrees. So we'll get near 70 with southeast winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. 30% chance of rain for Saturday night. They should be wrapping up about midnight. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 56. And then for Sunday, they're talking mostly sunny skies and a high of 82. And then 86 and sunny on Monday, back into the low 90s by Tuesday of next week. All right, it is 7:25. We're going to take about a 4.5-minute break, and then we're going to play our interview with Peggy Bolin talking camp invention. That's up next. Don't go away.
Senator Greg Nybert is the only candidate in the race for State Senate District 27 with a strong conservative record on border security and stopping illegal immigration. Greg Nybert has voted against free college for illegals. He's voted against professional licensing for illegals. He has stood strong against Michelle Lujan Grisham, turning New Mexico into a sanctuary state for drugs, crime, and criminals. He has fought to end catch and release for violent criminals and will continue to do so. New Mexico is at the center of a border crisis because our laws make us a haven for illegal immigrants, drug trafficking, and cartel activity. MLG's liberal agenda has unleashed terrible harm on our state. That's why a vote for Greg Nybert is a vote to take back our border security. Greg will keep fighting against the march of the radical left that threatens to harm our way of life. Vote for Greg Nybert, a proving conservative voice for State Senate.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Senate.
Ever had someone do something kind and out of the ordinary for you? How did that make you feel? I know for me, it brightens my day. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for the Joy of Marriage.
Galatians 6:9 says, "Let us not get tired of doing what's right, for after a while we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't get discouraged and give up." I've learned when you don't know what to do, just do the next right thing. Keep sowing good things into your spouse and your family. Be patient. God promises He will give you a harvest. It will make a difference. A successful farmer just keeps on working and expects to have a great harvest.
I know when my husband brings me flowers, it blesses me. So do something unexpected for your spouse. It will pay off.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company, here to announce that our geraniums are ready. So now the great debate begins. Are they pink or are they raspberry sorbet? Are they orange or are they Caribbean coral? Well, whatever you call them, they're the prettiest geraniums anywhere. We raise them in our own greenhouse, then send them home with you to brighten up the world. So come get yours now while the selection is best. Don't worry about the silly names.
I heard that.
Yes, dear. Coming, dear. Right away, dear. Of course, you're right.
Yes, cannabis is legal in New Mexico. No, there are helpful rules to keep you safe. For instance, yes, you should only buy from a licensed dispensary. Know that if you don't, yours might contain harmful substances. And yes, cannabis slows reaction time. So, know that you should never drive high. Know your yeses and nos about all things cannabis. From the State of New Mexico Cannabis Control Division. Go to yesandnosnm.com.
Are you interested in being an electrical lineman? Well, Central Valley Electric Cooperative is hosting a lineman camp on Thursday, May 30th from 9 a.m. to 12 noon at the CVE office located at 1403 North 13th Street in Artesia. The camp is open to ages 16 to 19. Come and learn some of the skills required to be an electric lineman. Lunch will be provided. For more information and to register, visit cvecoop.org. Come see if you have what it takes to be an electrical lineman on May 30th at our CVE Lineman Camp. We hope to see you there.
You're invited. Car Affair 2024, presented by the Cars Club of Carlsbad. Saturday, June 1st at the beach in Carlsbad. Early registration is Friday with a cruise. Then Saturday, car registration starts at 8 a.m. and ends at 10:30 a.m. Enjoy music, food, car-related swap meet, a 5K run, door prizes, and a special Try 5 Chevys area. To register or for more information, visit carsclubofcarlsbad.com. Pressure Services LLC in Artesia has immediate openings for experienced vacuum truck, kill truck, and hydrovac operators. Operators must hold a Class A CDL or Class D CDL, at least 2 years of experience, and be at least 25 years of age. All positions require a clean driving record and must be able to pass a DOT drug and alcohol screen. Pressure Services offers great pay with IRA benefits and employer contributions toward health benefits. Please apply in person at 402 West Main in Artesia, inside the Age Safety Facility. Equal opportunity employer.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Alaska is the only state name that can be typed on one row of keys. Go ahead and try typing the other 49 states. We'll wait. Here's Mike Winters.
Joining us. And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning to talk camp invention, Peggy Bolin back with us. Good morning, Peggy. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Yeah,
good.
It's hard to believe we're less than a month away from camp invention.
No, it's crazy.
Yeah, we are June 3rd through the 7th. All Saints Catholic School, new home this year for camp invention. But just like years past, open here for our elementary age kids. They're going to work on 4 different cool modules throughout the week, and they do it at their age-appropriate level. So if they're kindergarten or first grade, it'll be a little bit more elementary, but same project, and the 5th graders and those will be working a little bit more advanced on it. But they work on the same cool projects that they get to take home, share with their families, use. These are toys and educational type things that they can utilize and show and tell. And so it really is a cool camp because it's a lot of fun. They're learning all the STEAM, really, science, engineering, math, but arts too, because there's as much arts in there as
technology
and all that. So STEAM is more appropriate here than STEM. But it's a fun week-long camp, and it gets kids excited about. And not to mention STEAM, it also teaches ancillary leadership skills,
team building,
group setting, working with others,
creativity,
all the things that you as a parent can't sit them in a room and teach them per se.
That's right.
They
Communication skills.
Learn it by being in the room and doing it.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's why camp invention's so cool. Yeah. At the end of the day, we want to light their passions to pursue science and those kind of careers. But this is all foundational, making your kid, giving them the tools to whatever they want to do in life. And they do it in a way where it's fun and it's camp and it's, it looks like it's just a week of fun and games to them, but they're accidentally learning all this stuff.
Right, exactly.
That's camp invention. To them, it's like a week of fun and games with their buddies. But in reality, they're learning foundational type stuff for whatever direction they want to take life.
So. Right.
The cool, like you've been doing this for what, about 15 years? 16 years now. And it's all through the Inventors Hall of Fame.
The National Inventors Hall of Fame.
Yeah, this is a camp. It goes on all around the country. There's camps in every state.
Yep.
Oh, hold on. I might be getting a... This is just an EA test.
Oh.
But they take priority over. Whenever I'm on the radio, they take over when those kick in. So, sorry about that.
No worries.
And had that been an actual emergency, they would have got on and told us what's going on.
Right.
But,
I understand.
Just a test. So, but anyway, when we, this camp is all over all 50 states. This camp is, so if you've got family in East Coast or Texas or something,
send them here.
Them here. But if they're too far, maybe have them look into camp inventions in their neighborhoods, in their communities. But Roswell has one here. And
we're one of 5 in the state.
But said there's not that many in the state in New Mexico, so you're kind of lucky. We got one in your own backyard here. Thanks to Peggy. Peggy is the reason why we have Camp Invention.
Nobody else wants to do it.
She's the one that brought it here. She's the one that's fostered it, grew it, and has continued it for 16 years here. So, but it's a great camp. It is. I'm telling you, kids. And you get a lot of repeat business because you get kids that they'll start at first grade or early,
right?
Then they'll go second, third, fourth, and next thing you know, they got 4 or 5 years of this camp under their belt, and it's great. They love it. They come back year after year, and that's the proof in the pudding. Is when you got kids that are eagerly excited to come back year after year. That's all the evidence you need that this camp is something that kids love, and it's great and it works. So.
Right, and I have I mean, what's nice about Camp Invention is every year it's something different.
Mm-hmm.
So the student who comes every year won't get the same lessons, won't get the same modules.
Exactly.
They change every year.
So if you got 4 or 5, and that's just it. Like they don't repeat them and things. So I mean, in the many years that since 2015, you and I have been talking about this on the radio. I don't think we've seen the same thing in that 8 years that we've been talking about it here, or 9 years going on now talking about this here. So that's impressive. It's really, and everything's themed, and we'll tell about the 4 different ones for this year, but and they all have different purposes. Sometimes it's a thing that kind of teaches them like business skills, how to set up a business or organization, how to do that. Sometimes it's about all right, we're going to create an event, we're going to have a party, how do you plan and create this party and use these things. So it's not all just the math and science. I mean, there's part of it too, because there's days where they're like, why does the sun do what it does, or why does and so they're learning that. But some of this is business skills and people skills and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So the projects have sometimes a veil of science, but a whole lot of other skill sets in there, and organizational skills and planning and prep skills, and you given the importance of why you plan projects and why it's done this way, and creating good habits for these kids. When they how do you handle responsibility? You got to find ways to make you remember, to know checklists so you can understand, and these projects kind of gear towards teaching those kind of things. And there is an order of operations here. This is why it's done this way, and they learn it through these things. So.
Yes.
But that's the cool part about this camp. There's so much
to do,
and there's so much offshoot learning that it's you can't put a description on it. It's all under the veil of the STEM and STEAM, but it's way more than that. It's making a better overall well-rounded kid at the end of the day. That's what we're doing is giving a kid a well-rounded background, so whatever their passions and interests take them, they've got skill sets to succeed in that.
Right. And what's nice about this year is, and every year, is they always try them in Ohio first, because that's where Camp Invention headquarters. That's their test ground. They try them out first in Ohio.
Sense.
And then
quite a few inventions. I think the airplane that technically came out of Ohio. Right. I mean, they flew in Kitty Hawk.
And the Wright brothers.
The Wright brothers were out of Ohio.
That's right. And so, they try it there, and then, they work out the kinks, and then they do it nationwide the following year. So, this camp has been going on over 30 years.
Yeah. So if you want to see what next year is, you got to go to the Ohio for the testing ground.
Exactly. Take your kids to Ohio, and then.
But yeah, it is really a great thing. Now, let's talk about the 4 modules that this year's campers are going to be getting to work on.
All right. So this year's camp is called Illuminate.
Okay.
And so the first one is called In the Game. Campers team up as they investigate the science of sports ball design and personalize a light-up board game. Then add a unique logo and a name. So it's science, physics type of thing, but it's also sports.
That's
I mean, they pulled sports into it, which is really cool.
Hand-eye coordination, other aspects that
exactly
you practice to get better at.
Right. So I think that's going to be a big hit.
Yeah.
Another one's called Let's Glow. When they build a customized glow box, campers discover different forms of light, finding inspiration in illuminating inventions and animals that glow.
You know how many all your kids are going to be in their bedrooms at night under the blanket, the lights off, and they're playing with their Let's Glow.
That's right. Right. It's kind of like a light bright, but it's more than that.
Sure. Way smarter than the old school.
Right. It's like 3 or 4 boards that they're going to get to design and illuminate. It's really neat.
I'm not going to lie. One of my favorite toys as a kid was Light Bright. I didn't have the patience to not lose all the pegs and everything, because that's what kids do, but I did enjoy my Light Bright back.
Right. So this is not Light Bright, but it reminds me of Light Bright.
Light Bright like.
Yeah, Light Bright like. That's hard to say.
I know.
Okay, the third one is called Operation Hydro Drop, to cultivate awareness of real-world water challenges. Campers engineer a tiny house with crops to explore water-based technology and sustainable design thinking.
So they basically learn the elementary of how to create an irrigation system and plumbing and understanding how does the water come from the pond or lake to your house or to the crops or to and so they learn all of that, and and you could one of the most valuable commodities in the world is water.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that'll, and that's great because it's more back to problem solving skills,
right?
And teaching
exactly.
that. I mean, water is the tool we're using, but it's like, okay, it's not working. How do we figure this out? How do we get water from here to here?
Exactly.
And that's what these kids will be working on. So that's a cool one. I love that.
Yeah. And the last one is all about inventions, which is what I really like. It's called Prototyping Studio. Campers get creative as they transform their ideas from initial sketches to working prototypes using everyday items. So that's what you do when you invent something. You have to give a prototype in order for them, for them to actually get a patent.
Create those next Inspector Gadgets out there.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, so this would be really cool.
And I'm telling you, if you look at your computer people, your engineer, people that do that kind of thing, I guarantee every single one of them as a kid are tearing open clock radios and toasters
tinkering.
and doing stuff like that. That's that's where their passion. So if your child has this is a chance to foster that and get a chance to see if that's where they are. And if it is, grow that, because those are your artisans. Those are your, whenever you talk about these like watchmakers or people that are just skilled artisans in those things, that's the traits they have.
Right. So if you look at all four of them, it really talks about the whole child.
Yeah, it does.
The whole child is going to be creativity, problem solving, team building. This whole camp has it all.
Absolutely.
Innovation, invention.
It's well-rounded. It's, giving them a chance to get a good background of basics on this to really spark interest, really.
Right.
They find out, hopefully they get into one of these modules and then they just fall in love. And next thing you know, they got a passion for could be water irrigation, could be it could be in creating games and getting into that world. It could be getting into this art side and creating or saying, I want to be the guy that creates the next product that we all need for our lives. And so all of these kind of foster that kind of stuff and it takes the kid and maybe it's none of that. Maybe it's the kid wants to be a business owner, but guess what? They want to work for a Fortune 500 company, buy and sell stocks. Guess what? There are skill sets in every one of these modules that will serve them well in that field as well, too.
Right.
So
that's
why this is so cool. So regardless, if your kid becomes a scientist or the next great inventor or becomes, CEO of Procter & Gamble, I don't know. That's these skill sets, the things and again, they don't know the difference. They're literally thinking it's just fun.
They're
and
having
fun. Cool. We just created this cool board game today, or we just created this cool light box today. That's what we did. And but then he realized, then later on when they start getting into the other parts, they're like, this is what they're talking about when we were doing that light bright thing. This is the science behind what they were talking about there.
Right.
Especially when you get into that Operation Hydro Drop, I imagine, because that's physics. There's a lot of principles in that one that they're going to be learning, and gravity. Those are a lot of science they're going to be learning that kind of through that module.
True. So it's going to be a really good camp.
Now the caveat here is time is running out to get your kids signed up here. We space is limited.
Yes.
And have we passed the codes from Camp Invention, all the discount codes?
No, there's
one more left.
There's one for 15.
Okay.
If somebody needs that one, I don't have the new form with me.
Okay. Yeah, the one I got's outdated.
Right. But
if you go to invent.org/camp, and that is the full web page for the national thing. And then there's going to be a tab or a button or link that says find a camp near you.
Yes.
And you click that, you type in Roswell or 88201 or some kind of locator for here, and then Peggy's Camp Invention will pop right up there. And then you click on it, you can watch videos on all the different modules.
Yes, which is nice. Yeah, so the kids can get excited before they come.
If we didn't explain it well enough to you here, you can kind of see it for yourself there on those. And then, of course, you can register your child for the camp there, too. Now, Peggy, thanks to generous donators here in our community, can offer partial scholarships for this. The entire camp costs,
$285.
$285. However, you're like, oof, I can't, or I got 3 kids.
And there is a multi-child discount if you don't go with partial scholarships.
Yeah.
And you can call the 800 number and they'll tell you the multi.
Yeah, and exactly. Yeah, and we'll give you that here in a second. But if you do need support for or help with the partial scholarship, the thing is, we do not want you to register through the website. You need to register directly through Peggy. So if you do need a partial scholarship, and what you got to do is you call Peggy, tell her what your situation, and then she'll work with you. And
I try to work with everybody.
We always want the parents to pay something, so we ensure they show up and participate. But we can do a lot of work here on helping you do that if you just talk to Peggy. Let your it's a case by case basis on that.
Let me help you.
Yes, but call her direct, and you can do so by calling Peggy at 575-420-9955. Again, that's 575-420-9955. Or if you'd rather shoot her an email, P. Bolin, and that's the letter P, BOHLIN, 2016, 2016, at gmail.com. So pbolin2016 at gmail.com. Shoot her an email or call her 575-420-9955. And of course, if you have any questions about the camp or logistics, you can do either one, and Peggy will get back to you. But if you do need the partial scholarship, that's the only way you can register. We can't apply the scholarships when you go through Camp Invention because the monies come from different accounts, and it's handled a different way. So call direct. Now, if you don't need a scholarship or if you want to take advantage of the multi-child fees, there's a 1-800 number.
Right, they should call.
1-800-968-4332. 800-968-4332. You can do all that. Now, if you don't need any discounts, you just want to sign your kid up, you can go to the website, invent.org /camp, put in Roswell, and then the form will be right there when you get to the Roswell page. You fill it out and everything else.
Right, and I can also give them the codes when I'm at home because I can pull them up on my computer in case they want to talk to me first and then go, okay, yes, I would like those codes.
Sure.
I do want to mention again, the camp is from June 3rd through the 7th, the first full week in June, from 9 to 3:30. There is extended daycare in case you want to send your child and you have to work.
We get it. Your life might start before 9 a.m. and you can't.
Right. And it starts at 7:30 in the morning and goes to 5:30. And, they do things there too. They don't just sit around.
Oh yeah, it's not babysitter camp. It's actually more camp.
Right. They have some fun games and that kind of thing.
Now, granted, you don't miss anything by not doing it either. So don't feel like, well, shoot, I want more camp. I want them to go. Now, yeah, great, but don't feel like if you have to do that or your kid's not going to get every experience. No. They will get all the experience.
Right.
This is just an opportunity for parents that can't get there. They're at work by 9 o'clock or they can't be there at 3:30 to pick them up. They got to wait another hour.
This is a good option.
This is an option for them to say, okay, now you don't have to get out of work early or jump through 37 hoops to pick your kid up or drop your kid off for that.
Right, exactly.
So you got a little grease time to do that. So and it's now your problem's going to be if you show up a little early and there's stuff going on. Your kid's like, I'm not ready to go. I'm staying till 5:30.
Right.
Now that's between you and your child.
That's true.
But please, I do want to ask with your counselors, your LITs in training, is that still available? Or
leaders in training, those entering 7th through 9th. So if they're currently in middle school, they can be a leader in training. It's $100 cheaper. I can't give any additional partial scholarship, but it's $185, which is nice. They learn leadership skills. They shadow and leadership intern. They work with teachers.
They have a foot in both. They participate in the projects and things like the campers do, but they also help the counselors, wrangle and help pass out supplies and just be an aid to the counselors while they're there. So they kind of have a foot in the leadership side and in the camper side.
Right. And then of course we have leadership interns, which are high school and college kids, and then we have the teachers. But again, I want to mention $285 for those who need partial scholarships. That they go through me.
Yes.
I'm still taking donations as well. I just got 2 donations yesterday.
Awesome. So if you'd like to make donations, now here's the good news. Whatever money doesn't use this year, it goes to a bank.
And can be used next year.
So some of you donated last year. It's paying for kids at camp this year.
No, actually, I used up all the money last year.
Oh, last year was used up. Okay, so this is all fresh. But if there's leftover, it rolls
right,
over. So,
exactly.
So don't worry. If you make a donation and it doesn't get used this year, I guarantee it'll put a kid in camp for if not this year, to the next year. And that's so. If you'd like to make those donations, again, call Peggy direct, and because we have a separate fund account that stuff goes to, and so that's part of the reason why we can't go through the website to register for partial, because that money's here, not there.
Well, actually, it is
there, but it's
but
not
I'm the one who
accessible.
has the codes. I'm the one who has the power.
Yeah, it is for transparency purposes. The camp inventors know what's in there and how much, so Peggy just can't take it at a whim.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
But please, and again, invent.org is the website /camp. We'll take you there, or you can always call the 800 number, 800-968-4332. Anything for partial scholarships, local questions about logistics or anything at this year's camp, get a hold of Peggy direct at 575-420-9955, 575-420-9955, or email her pbolin2016@gmail.com. The letter P, BOHLIN 2016@gmail.com. Good deal.
Yeah.
Is that it? Did we get it all?
I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
I think we got all.
And
again, it's June 3rd through June 7th. The camp runs 9 to 3:30. There is the extended camp hours there that run from
7:30 to 5:30
to 5:30. Either way, and then of course this is geared for kindergarten through 6th grade. Is the camp
entering
age.
kindergarten to entering 6th grade? Yes,
that's the age group.
Right, and lunch is not provided, but snacks
there will be
are.
snacks and stuff. So you bring a bag, sack lunch or whatever, and then but they'll have breaks for cookies and milk or whatever.
Right, there'll be snacks. Yeah. So
they won't be hungry when they leave. Don't worry.
No, but they will be tired when they leave.
That we can guarantee.
That's the key.
That way, so
because they will talk until about dinner time, and then it's
so feed them and hose them off and put them to bed.
That's right. Exactly, because they're going to be very excited. They're going to love this camp. They always come with smiles on their face. and
that's the great part about it. Whether they're in kindergarten, and that's the cool part. Is if you got a child that's in 1st grade and a child that's in 4th grade, they're doing the same projects, but they're learning it at different levels.
Yes.
And so they're doing the same thing, and so they can relate and do that. And by the way, they'll have the same toys, so they won't fight over who got what and who's the coolest.
That's right.
All that kind of thing. We don't have to worry about that. They got the same. So
exactly.
It's all good. So, well, thank you, Peggy.
Sure, and thank you.
She's got some rockets to launch. We need to let her go.
I'm busy.
Space. She's going to space at 10 o'clock. We got to go. Thank you,
all right,
Peggy.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, 8:44. Let's pause for news. Chaves County Sports Update, quick break, and all that good stuff. Don't go away.
Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. U.S. wholesale inventories fell in March, confirming that inventory investment was a drag on economic growth in the first quarter. President Joe Biden visited Racine, Wisconsin, to tout his administration's role in jumpstarting a $3.3 billion artificial intelligence data center by Microsoft that is expected to create 2,000 tech jobs. The U.S. government on Wednesday sued Hyundai and Kia's American financing arm, accusing it of repossessing vehicles leased to military service members without first obtaining court permission as required by law. General Motors will end production of its gasoline-powered Chevrolet Malibu later this year in order to produce new electric vehicles. Oil prices edged higher on Wednesday after U.S. oil storage data showed a larger-than-expected draw in crude stockpiles as refiners ramped out output ahead of the summer driving season. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. Well, the beginning of the state tennis tournament happened yesterday in Albuquerque, first 2 rounds, and it was a good day for Goddard girls tennis in the singles draw. We had a couple of girls from Goddard move on to the semifinal round. They're in the opposite side of the bracket, so they won't have to meet each other first thing off this morning, but both advanced. One was expected, one was not. Avery Williams, the 2nd seed from Goddard, took care of business against Amelia Bosky from Academy Academy 6-0-7-5 after beating Linda Rundell from Santa Teresa 6-0-6-0 to start the day. And then Zoe Williams, unseeded, defeated Sofia Parra from Los Alamos 6-0-6-2 and then beat Alicia Senna from Robertson 6-1, 6-2 in the second round. Both players will move on to the semifinal round. 10:30 matches this morning in Albuquerque. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
It's vacation time. You spend a whole week packing your bag, getting that perfect balance of shirts, pants, and shoes, only to have the airline misplace it. Tech can help. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by Total AV. Get 85% off leading security for all your devices at protectwithkim.com. On average, U.S.-based airlines lose one bag for every 200 that get checked. The biggest culprit, American Airlines, with 1 out of 100 that go missing. United and Alaska Airlines aren't far behind. If you're flying this summer, tuck an Apple AirTag or a tile tracker inside your bag. That way, when the airlines say they don't know where your bag is, you can show them where it is on a map. You also want to snap photos of your bag and its contents from multiple angles. These photos can really save the day. Since a lot of luggage looks the same, put a sticker or something on yours. And get the airline's official app. Many show you where your luggage is. Your best bet, though, always carry it on. Get device advice you can use in your life every single day with my free newsletter at getkim.com. I've said it time and time again. If your computer or phone is unprotected, you're just asking for trouble. There are literally billions of malware programs already out there, and each day hundreds of thousands more are released. Let's face it, it's not a matter of if you'll be hit, but when. And with hackers embracing AI, it's getting harder than ever to spot threats yourself. That's why I use Total AV's award-winning security suite on all my devices, both at home and on the go. It's cutting-edge security that provides real-time protection from viruses, malware, and more. Plus, you can protect up to 5 devices all under a single plan. So whether you're on a Windows, Mac, iOS, or an Android device, just install the easy-to-use app, and that's it. You're protected. And as a Kim Commando listener, you can get your first year of Total AV for only $19. Just head to protectwithkim.com for this exclusive discount of over 85% off the regular price. That's protectwithkim.com. Protectwithkim.com. It's just $19 for the first year at protectwithkim.com.
In southeast New Mexico, our state senator Greg Neibert has a strong conservative record, supporting the right to life, working to protect our conservative values, and standing up for the Second Amendment. That's why he's endorsed by the NRA. Greg Neibert has a record of opposing the liberal, progressive Santa Fe agenda. He has consistently stood against illegal immigration, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham's harmful progressive agenda, and policies that try to take away our rights and freedoms. He has stood up for us time and time again, especially when our rights have been under attack. Greg is a champion for our communities, our values, and our way of life. Greg Neibert has a record that we can count on. He is a strong supporter of our oil and gas jobs, which is so essential to southeast New Mexico. We need Senator Greg Neibert in Santa Fe. He is a proven, committed conservative and a strong voice for eastern New Mexico.
Paid for by Greg Neibert for State Senate.
Maybe your AC unit needs a little tender loving care. If you don't know where to turn, then you don't know jack. In fact, they're downright funky. Let the boys at Fergie's Plumbing and Heating get your AC unit ice cold, just like some of my lady friends. Don't let any fool make you lose your cool. Fergie's Plumbing and Heating. If you don't know Fergie, then you don't know jack. 632-2660.
Are you or a loved one having a hard time getting to your medical appointments? At Artesia General Hospital, we believe that transportation should never be a barrier to good health. That's why we're excited to announce our new non-emergency medical transportation services. Each of our vans is wheelchair accessible, and our friendly certified drivers go the extra mile by meeting you at your doorstep and ensuring a comfortable ride to your Artesia General Hospital services. Rides are available Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Schedule your ride today by visiting artesiageneral.com/transportation or calling 575-736-8211.
My name is Pat Boone, and I'm running for the New Mexico State Senate, District 27. My deep-rooted connection to the land and understanding of the challenges facing rural communities make me uniquely qualified to represent the interest of District 27 in the State Senate. I love this district and its people, and I look forward to representing you in Santa Fe. I'd appreciate your Republican primary vote on June 4th.
Paid for by Committee to Elect Pat Boone, New Mexico Senate, District 27, Mark McKay, Treasurer.
Playing dance music can help ward off mosquitoes. Now you have a reason to invite Pitbull to your next pool party. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. Closing in on 8 o'clock. Town Hall News coming up here in just a few seconds. Stay tuned next hour. We're going to have Elaine Mayfield and Guy Malone join us talking about Towel Day happening actually the weekend of the 24th and May 25th there at Library and Convention Center and the UFO Museum. We'll talk all about that next hour. Stay tuned.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. It's another sign the red-hot U.S. job market continues to cool off.
The number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits jumped to its highest level in more than 8 months last week. The Labor Department reports unemployment claims for the week ending May 4th rose by 22,000 to 231,000. Last week's claims were the most since the final week of August 2023.
Correspondent Jeremy House. There wasn't a single Democrat voting yes when the House passed a Republican bill calling for adding a citizenship question to the 2030 census. Backers of the bill argue illegal immigrants are not entitled to congressional representation. And House Speaker Mike Johnson says the Democrats have made it quite clear as to where they stand.
2 months ago, every Senate Democrat voted to count illegal aliens in the census, to help them shore up more seats in Congress and more votes in the Electoral College.
And the prospects for this bill look doubtful in the Democrat-controlled Senate. An attempt to oust Congressman Johnson as Speaker of the House has failed. President Biden threatens to withhold certain U.S. weaponry from Israel should the Jewish state launch an offensive against Hamas in Rafah.
Several human rights groups have specifically mentioned these heavy bombs as being responsible for causing a lot of the devastation in Gaza. President Biden said that U.S.-supplied munitions, these heavy weapons, have already killed civilians in Gaza. But I think this decision to pause deliveries is incredibly significant. It's historic, right? This hasn't happened in 40 years. America, after all, is by far the most important supplier of military equipment to the Israelis, the most significant ally.
The BBC's Will Vernon. Watching Wall Street, the Dow's trading 72 points higher, while the NASDAQ is down 16, the S&P 4 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Human Rights Watch says Sudan's paramilitary rapid support forces may be guilty of genocide in civil war-ravaged West Darfur.
Much has been reported about the waves of attacks on the predominantly non-Arab Masalit population of El Janina last year, but this is one of the most comprehensive investigations so far. It concludes that the RSF and its Arab allies committed crimes against humanity and war crimes by systematically targeting the Masalit, and it raises the possibility that they may have had the intention to destroy the community in West Darfur, which would indicate genocide. The RSF leader, General Hameti, has denied his fighters deliberately attacked civilians.
The BBC's Barbara Plett-Usher. ISIS claims responsibility for a bombing that killed officers involved in an anti-poppy crop campaign in Afghanistan's northeast. A motorcycle was booby-trapped and exploded, targeting a Taliban patrol unit. News and analysis at townhall.com. Tax hikes the issue before California's highest court.
The California Supreme Court is weighing whether to remove a measure from the November ballot that would make it harder for the state and local governments to raise taxes. The court heard oral arguments Wednesday on the measure that would require all new and higher taxes to be approved by voters. Right now, the legislature can raise taxes with a 2/3 vote in both the Senate and Assembly. The initiative would require statewide voters to weigh in after, with the new tax taking effect only if a majority approve it. Keith Peters reporting.
A northern Idaho prosecutor will not bring hate crimes charges against an 18-year-old accused of shouting a racist slur at members of the Utah women's basketball team while the team was in Idaho for the NCAA tournament. The prosecutor says there's not evidence that the man was threatening physical harm to the women or their property, the conduct protected under the First Amendment. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Hope the Thursday's going well.
Quite.
Got the weekend coming up.
Yeah, and an actual springtime weekend.
Yeah, I got some rain on Saturday that they say got pretty good chances of. We'll see.
Yeah.
Need it all. Hope it doesn't mess up weekend plans from people, but we need the rain. So.
This is why we should plan more often to just frolic in the rain. That way, no plans will be messed up if it rains. Not saying it's going to happen, but if it does...
And once a year we get to frolic.
Then your plans are good.
Actually get to frolic.
Kids, get your galoshes. We're going for a frolic.
Yes. I think we should have more frolicking.
There's just not enough frolicking.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Start a TikTok trend. That'll get it going. Just frolic.
Just the frolic club. Every week we go for a frolic, whether it's in a field, in the rain. It's just a frolic.
Fun time frolicers.
That's right. The Fun Time Frolic Society.
I believe she's getting our other guest. So, yeah, we're speaking of...
Go away frolicking.
I just think maybe we start with people incorporate a frolic into their event.
Mm-hmm.
It started as simple as that.
Yeah.
And I would even recommend it for health council type thing.
Sure.
Because
doing
it's
like a
good activity.
Company picnic or just like a family reunion. Plan it somewhere in there, like in between like the sack race and the raffle.
I feel like a frolic could be mental and physical health.
That's right.
Good for both.
That's right.
You know,
skip wildly through a field of wildflowers. It's good for the soul.
Like I feel like some of our martial arts programs, like Tai Chi, can incorporate a frolic program.
Ooh, I like that.
Frolic Chi.
You listening, Miss Manchego? I'm saying, the Friday frolic.
Thai frolic. I don't know. Something.
Thai frolic.
I mean, we got to work on this. But I think, or maybe it's not Tai Chi. Maybe it's Taekwondo.
There you go.
Taekwondo frolic.
Frolic-quando.
I do frolic. Oh, never mind. I'll work on that. I was going to try to do a spin on karate.
I was like, for lack of a better term. Frolic a better term.
But anyway.
Yes.
Frolic. Work on the frolic. So. But happy Thursday.
Yes.
Hopefully, like I said, this rain doesn't mess up too many plans. We do have playoff baseball. Got it, Rocket Baseball for you Friday and Saturday. We'll have it here on the radio, 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Yes, sir.
6 p.m. and I think it's 11 for Saturday.
Mhm.
There'll be one game Friday night and one, maybe 2 games Saturday, depending. It's a best of 3 series, so if one team wins Friday and then wins the first game Saturday, we're done.
Mhm.
And I'm hoping, obviously, it's Goddard. Goddard is the 1 seed, so in theory, on paper, they should be winning this pretty handedly. But
The game's going to be at Goddard, correct?
Roger that.
There you go. So if you can't make it to the game, though, tune in to 106.5 Roswell Talk FM.
And I'd be honest, I was just asking. I haven't heard one way or the other on our video site.
Yeah, we're not sure yet.
So I will confirm that today at some point. But anyway, we will have baseball for you Friday and Saturday. Got it, Rocket Play, and of course, next week, assuming our local teams win this weekend, when they head to the tournament here next week, we will carry those games for you on the radio.
Yep.
Roswell doesn't have any teams represented, but Goddard and Artesia do. So we will cover those.
Goddard is in Roswell.
I mean Roswell High. Sorry, that's
very
what I'm saying. Roswell High, not the city of Roswell.
You outliers out there, Goddard.
Roswell High School.
There,
I
yeah,
apologize. It was meant that I did not finish. But so we'll have all that for you here this week.
Nice.
And all that good stuff.
Very good.
So we're going to learn you about Towel Day here today. I'm just learning it myself. I have a foot in everything, including nerd, but my foot isn't deep in these areas. So I know a little nerd. I know
you
a little
dip a toe.
Yeah, I'm a jack of all trades, master of none.
There you
go. Sports. I know sports, but I don't know everything about sports. I don't live, breathe, and eat, sleep like sports fans do. Nerddom. I love nerddom things, but I don't eat, breathe, and sleep nerddom things like some people do.
It's really funny. The ones who like really truly commit to the nerddom are in those truly nerdy industries. Like this board right here. The name of this board is the Arrakis.
Yeah.
And the Arrakis is only recently become popular
because of the Dune.
But yes.
The people that made this board weren't celebrating the new Dune movie.
No, they were definitely
the 1984 version.
Old heads.
I still cannot watch to this day. That makes me fall asleep every time. But it's got Sting.
Yeah. There's certain movies that don't at all stand the test of time. But then there's other ones that get rebooted, and the reboot is so much worse.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the rebooted Clash of the Titans?
To be honest, I have not.
It was a garbage.
Well,
part of what made the
I
original...
had no desire to see it.
Okay, fair enough. Part of what made the original Clash so good was it was a celebration of the campiness of the Harryhausen design, that style of film. It was sort of like a celebration of that style.
Yeah.
And
because it was a lot of stop cap.
It's all
with the
stop
owls
motion
and all the dragons and everything that's in it, the krakens or whatever you call it. Yeah.
But now with the advent of modern technology, they attempted to make it, and it just took all the soul out of the movie.
Yeah.
It's soulless.
Although it does have the most iconic line in pretty much all of cinema. The whole release the Kraken thing.
Oh,
that the sports mantra, everybody's, you know what I mean? It's just been adopted. People are like, oh, the movie stinks, but I love that release the Kraken.
I say it every time I'm about to poop.
That's right. Release the Kraken. So we all love to do that. But anyway, back to my point, what I was getting to here. Here in just a few minutes, we're going to have Elaine Mayfield and Guy Malone join us, and we're going to be talking about Towel Day.
Yep.
And you're like, what is Towel Day? And Towel Day is to celebrate Douglas Adams, who is the author of the book Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. You may have heard of it. So Towel Day, which is celebrated May the 25th internationally, they're going to have Towel Day events. You can go online and see what internationally they're doing about Towel Day. But here in Roswell, we're going to have it into really a 3-day celebration. The Friday before the 24th, they're going to have a free event at the library, and you can kind of, kids and the families can get involved. The schools are getting involved with that. Saturday is kind of the con day, where they're going to be at the convention center and have kind of a con with where the costume contest and panels and all the fun stuff that people like to do. And then Sunday, they're going to have an event over at the UFO Museum celebrating Towel Day. So you not only get 1 day, but 3 days of Towel Day celebration here in Roswell. So Guy and Elaine are going to kind of give us the rundown and talk a little bit about, because some things like the library stuff's free. There is a cost to get in the con, but you get a full day of all kinds of stuff. So we talk about that, and then we'll talk about we'll touch on the stuff at the museum on Sunday as well. Too. Yeah. But all of it to really celebrate Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and of course Douglas. And now this is the part because I was kind of reading this up. Mm-hmm. Douglas Adams passed away in 2001. He was only 49 when he died.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm guessing, did he have cancer or something? I mean, 49 doesn't seem like a natural death age. Did he have an accident or some kind of medical issue?
Maybe he was just a huge fan of Def Leppard and decided to burn out before he faded away.
I don't know his lifestyle. I don't know if he had mental health issues, and maybe that's, artists and creative types, that tends to be in the lexicon of things.
I'm going to check out.
How did he pass away? Just looking it up. Okay.
We're going to find out. And by the way, this weekend, if you're out and about and carrying a towel and anybody asks you why you're carrying a towel, the correct answer, 42.
But yeah, so we're going to talk all things Towel Day here in just a few minutes and get you excited about the weekend of festivities.
Yes.
Later on in the hour, we'll get you up to date with news of the local variety, along with your Wall Street business update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. But first, let's take a gander at the weather. Whether you like it or not, that's up to you.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're looking pretty good today. Mid-80s on the afternoon high, sunshine, and not too windy. Overnight will be clearing and our overnight low in the mid-50s. And then for tomorrow, a mix of sunshine and clouds and a little bit cooler. We'll stay in the mid-70s on the afternoon high. Maybe a shower or two on Saturday and then quickly back to sunny weather on Sunday. Highs in the 80s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 62 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 25%. Winds currently out of the north at 16 miles per hour. Sunny and a high of 86 today. Winds will be out of the north 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear skies with an overnight low of 55 degrees. East winds 15 to 20. They'll drop down 10 to 15 after midnight. Friday, partly cloudy. 76 are high tomorrow. Winds will be out of the northeast, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday night, we are looking at a 30% chance at showers and thunderstorms pretty much throughout the evening hours. They keep giving me till about 9 p.m. and then a chance at all. Pretty much we've got a chance of rain for all Friday night. Mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 57 otherwise. Southeast winds at 10 to 15 miles per hour. 60% chance at rain for your Saturday. Pretty much all day once again. Mostly cloudy with a high of 69 degrees, so we may get to 70 on Saturday. Southeast winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday night, we're looking at a 30% chance at showers and thunderstorms. That should all wrap up around midnight. Mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 56 degrees. For Sunday, sunny skies and a high of 82. And then mid-80s on Monday and back into the low 90s by Tuesday of next week. All right, it is 17 minutes after 8. We're going to take a 4-minute break, and then we'll talk Towel Day, and actually Towel Weekend. So we'll talk all that next. Don't go away.
At Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium, we honor and pay tribute to the achievements of your loved one by celebrating the life you shared together. Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium is compassionate and cares about our local community and the families we serve here in southeastern New Mexico. Locally owned and operated, we will be here to help you decide how to celebrate the bond you've shared and pay tribute to the unique individual you've lost. Visit us at 2609 South Main in Roswell or call 622-5888.
This is State Representative Candy Spence-Ezell. I'm a lifelong farmer and rancher, and for the past decade, I've been watching the radical policies of the so-called progressives in Santa Fe rapidly chip away at our traditional way of life. I've served in the State House for quite a while, and I'm known for saying no to Governor MLG every chance I get. I'm running now for the State Senate, where I have a greater impact in fighting for our economic development, our rights, our freedoms, and our Western way of life. I'm a life member of the NRA. In my time in the legislature, I have received an A+ rating from the NRA every year I've been in office. I am unshakably pro-Second Amendment and always stand up to those trying to destroy our Constitution. I'm Candy Spency Zell, asking for your vote in the upcoming Republican primary on June 4th.
Paid for by Candy Spency Zell for State Senate, District 32.
They're watching you. They see your social media posts. They follow your family, your friends, and your interests online because they're planning on taking your money. All of it. They're con artists. They'll use your social information to build your trust and lure you into once-in-a-lifetime investments with promises of high guaranteed returns. But it can be avoided. The Securities Division of New Mexico's Regulation and Licensing Department can help. Learn to spot the red flags of investment scams at rld.nm.gov/red flags or call 505-476-4580.
Can't hear as well as you used to? That can happen to the best of us. But when you can't hear people speaking or birds chirping, it's time to take action. That's when it's time to call Howard Allman with Here on Earth Hearing Care Center. Howard has been helping people hear better for over 55 years. Howard is who helps the Artesia seniors with servicing their hearing aids of all makes with free cleaning and hearing evaluations. And he's ready to help you. Howard can share with you information on Audibel Intrigue AI hearing aids with many features you might not expect a hearing aid can do, such as using your hearing aids to stream calls, music, and more. Plus, health monitoring, count steps, even fall detection, all built in. Meet face-to-face with someone who can help you choose the right hearing aid for you. Call Howard at 575-622-0375, and he'll be glad to set up a time to meet with you. That's 575-622-0375 for Howard Allman of Here on Earth Hearing Care Center.
A good night's sleep is so important, and issues like sleep apnea make falling asleep and staying asleep nearly impossible, but we can help. I'm Dr. Sarah Usher at Carabelli Dental. With the help of a simple oral appliance, your sleepless nights could be a thing of the past. But don't take my word for it, just ask Lainey.
My name is Lainey Smith. I wasn't surprised when I found out I had sleep apnea simply because I had a horrible sleep pattern. I attempted to use the machine and it drove me nuts and I could not sleep with it. And then that's when Dr. Agger told me about the oral appliance. I would suspect I've been using it for 2 years now. In all of that time, I've had less than 10 poor nights of sleep. It's a complete game changer. I feel a lot better because I sleep.
This simple appliance can change your life. Call us today to set up your appointment so you can finally get the good night's sleep you need.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell or call 575-622-4455.
You are 13.8% more likely to die on your birthday. Think about that the next time you want to celebrate your birthday month. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, we have Elaine Mayfield and Guy Malone back with us.
Hi.
Wearing their
towels.
I'll say towel day hat, but they're wearing their towels today. So we'll just go towels here today. But good morning, guys. How y'all doing?
Hey.
Good.
Good. Glad to have you guys back. And, of course, we're excited. Of course, I know we're not trying to scare nobody, but we're a little over a month away from UFO Festival and Galacticon and that whole weekend of events and everything here. So I would like to say maybe we're going to do a little pre-gaming for that.
Correct.
Absolutely.
May 24th, 25th, and the 26th weekend here with Towel Day.
Right.
So when you first presented me, I'm like, what's Towel Day? And then the last thing I thought of was Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I'm thinking,
right on.
something maybe getting people into working out and carrying. I didn't know. I was like, I'm kind of curious. So I said, all right, let me see what this Towel Day is all about. And I'm like, oh. Now, I saw the movie Hitchhiker's Guide years ago. I've never read the book, so I'm a little naive.
I'm with you on that. Yeah, I have not read it.
I'm a little naive on the lore and all the story and the. I mean, I have a gist from the movie, but like any other thing, the book goes into way more details, has way more plots and things that the movies generally don't even address or skim over in. So
you're right.
I'm probably missing a bunch of the story by not reading the book.
Let me just start quickly by saying that Roswell Galacticon is kind of hosting or
sister partner or
yeah. What we've wanted to do is to have more things than just July 4th weekend.
Yeah.
And so we've kind of done some things, and
kind of wet the beak a little bit. Get you excited.
well,
and
get
say,
satellite event. Around the Earth. A satellite event.
Satellite.
We
Maybe
live,
a steampunk ball in the fall would be great.
Yeah.
This is a sci-fi cosplay gathering in May.
Well, and if you look at Roswell and you look at the thing, you know, the life and everything, and obviously the alien stuff, by default makes Roswell kind of a unofficial science fiction
Mecca
or capital.
You're right.
Exactly.
It does.
So
It does.
let's embrace that and let's have some fun with that and let's celebrate good things and why not? Because really, Towel Day is an event because this is why the library's getting involved and the schools are getting involved. You know, we want kids reading. We want them to find the things to get them excited to read. And we're like, hey, what got us excited? Books like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, places that take you on adventures. And that's really what all this is we're just fostering the imagination, giving people a chance to have fun and live life outside of the mundane world of adulting.
You did a wonderful job pitching it before the break of describing it. You know, what is Towel Day? Douglas Adams, the author.
Yeah.
He is the author of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And then there's more books. It's known as the Hitchhiker's Trilogy.
Okay.
The second book will be creating an immersive experience.
And he's wrote quite a few things for mainstream, too, that people don't realize. I was digging in the Wikipedia.
Good for you.
And like one of the last things he did was Monty Python. When their last, he was writing sketches for Monty Python. Yeah. He's British, obviously.
Yes,
so his
very.
humor probably went in that direction. But yeah, look at his. If y'all get bored, look at his Wikipedia. You'd be like, I didn't realize that was him. I didn't realize that was him. You know, we all know from the Hitchhiker's Guide
to the Galaxy.
But you know, he's an author, he's a writer, he's a creator, and he pops up
pretty
in other
prolific
circles too.
if he died young.
Yeah, and that's the other thing got me. That's why I said, man, he was only 51 when he died, or 49 or whatever it was. Yeah, I was like, that's young. You know, I was like, something went, and it turns out it was a heart attack.
Yeah, I love that you researched everything else he's done. The reason this is even a quote holiday is that his own fandom after his death there, his birthday was about 2 weeks later, May 25th.
So this is why we do it on the 25th.
It's kind of like the UFO festival. We don't get to pick the day of the crash. We got to follow it around the holiday.
Well, and this is internationally celebrated.
Very much so.
And,
yes.
So, but here's the part I didn't quite get. What's the towel represent? Is that in the story?
Yes.
And that's where I'm a little naive.
If you're hitchhiking through the universe, just to set it up, Earth gets blown up in chapter 1 of the book.
Yeah,
spoiler
alert.
But the universe is a much safer place if you carry your towel with you, and there are many reasons for this. Allow me to excerpt here.
Educate me on this part, because this is
the
where I'm a
most
little naive.
useful thing an interstellar hitchhiker can carry, partly because it has great practical value. You can wrap it around your head for warmth as you bound across the cold moons of Jaglin Beta. You can lie out in the brilliant marble sanded beaches of Sandranus 5, inhaling the heady sea vapors. It also has very much psychological value, because if you are seen carrying your towel with you, people will just assume that you've got your act together, that you've probably got a toothbrush, that you've got deodorant.
Makes sense.
And then if you just happen to have lost one of those things, you're going to be, oh, hey, apparently I've lost my toothbrush. And you're going to be, well, you're such a hoopy fruit. Here, take mine. I've got an extra. So if ever someone calls you, Mike, a hoopy fruit who really knows where his towel is, there is no higher compliment in the universe.
So that is, so if, especially, you know, the weekend of the 24th, 25th here.
Right.
If someone gives you that, that is high praise.
High praise.
That is, internationally, it is towelday.org. And as you said, it mentions Douglas Adams.
Yeah.
Here's what to do in the world. You got Netherlands over here, USA. Roswell Galacticon presents roswelltowelday.org. And it is to... The fandom decided to honor Douglas Adams. The towel is a reference to the Hitchhiker's Guide, as you said.
Yeah, and now that makes sense, because it kind of shows that you're in the know, but also you know, an upstanding citizen in the galaxy.
Yeah, when I came back here, when I moved back in 2015, I carried a little towel on my waistband in the Stellar, and the coffee barista, he's like, dude, you're doing towel day, aren't you? Well, Elaine's experience, people know this. There's a fandom out there, and it's a huge phenomenon. We're just giving them a place to gather now.
Well, and it gives people a sense of belonging. I think it's no different than like the Jeep Club with the wave and the duckies and ducking people. It's all tradition stuff, and so this is part of that fun, and this is a great way to do it in a positive way. And again, and we're going to focus on what Roswell's doing here in a minute, but we're kind of, you know, it really is a fun way to get families excited and give them something to have a passion about. You know, especially with kids, you're trying to find their niches, what they love, what they're into, what they're not
Science
into.
fiction cosplay at the convention center on a Saturday.
And especially if mom and dad are into science fiction and stuff, you want to, your goal one is to get your kids as engrossed and involved as much as you want. Because let's face it, all of us at the end of the day want our kids to be a little bit of us. You know what I mean?
Nerdy.
And
Little mini-me.
And so for a lot of folks, that's your world. Whether it's Hitchhiker's Guide or Star Wars or Star Trek or whatever your niche passion is, celebrate that. And yes, we're using Hitchhiker's Guide as the platform, but at the end of the day, we're just celebrating all things
Sci-fi,
science fiction,
It's very inclusive. You hit a nerve and you didn't realize it. You've watched the movie, but within the community, there's purists, and it creates a little bit of, if you haven't read the book, you're not real.
Yeah.
And Talday Ambassador Yvette Keller, who is coming, it's an annual title, but once you receive it, you are one for life. We have 3 of them coming now for this event. But she told me, no, if they only read the movie, that's fine. They're in. If a kid only saw something animated, they're in the community. You have to be nice. Kindness matters. So there's no pure, and that inclusiveness goes well beyond.
Absolutely.
Because as a local holiday now, it's inclusive of Lord of the Rings, Star Trek. Bring all your cosplay realms together.
Yeah, bring the world of the and it just reminds us to the universe you live in. Sometimes you can create your own and do your thing, and that's kind of and let's face it, sci-fi is broad, is a very broad category full of very niche, and that's just that you could be in sci-fi, but there's facets of sci-fi that you have no knowledge of or no history of, and people are like, well, you're not a sci-fi person. It's like, I just was not into Star Trek or whatever that particular facet is. But you hit them with Star Wars, or you hit them with Hitchhiker's Guide, or you hit them with a Marvel thing, and all of a sudden they sound like you can't shut them down. You know what I mean? That's right. That's it. But that's the sci-fi world, and that's why the cons and these things are so cool, because it's a gathering. And you know what? Yes, most everyone's going to be fans of Hitchhiker's Guide. That's obviously the thing here. But it's back to what you said. If you love the universe of fantasy and sci-fi and creating worlds and whole cultures and universes, doesn't matter if it's Wakanda or the universe or Narnia. It doesn't matter. This is to celebrate all of that.
Roswell's still the mecca for that genre.
Yeah.
If you're into any of that stuff, you've wanted to make a side trip to Roswell.
Yeah.
I've heard from people over the years, I really love, or I want to come to Roswell, like an event in like DC or Florida. They have UFO conferences.
Yeah.
But I'm not coming in July because it's 104 degrees.
No, that's a valid
So
point.
I've wanted for a long time to have a sci-fi that would attract that same crowd.
That sounds like rationale from a guy that wears a towel.
You can wrap it around your head for warmth. Now, there is the ravenous whatever bug blaster beast that it is so daft. It assumes that if it can't see you or you can't see it, there you go, sorry, that it can't see you. So this will keep me from getting eaten in some parts of the
Protects
universe.
you from the stupid.
Do that. That's right. That's right. You can't fix stupid, but you can wrap a towel around
I think that's a good advice, just to carry the towel out for everybody.
You can wet it for hand-to-hand combat.
That's right.
It's handy.
You've never been in a towel fight in the gym,
Steve Urkel is the master.
Oh, yeah.
Look that up. Steve Urkel towel fight.
I remember gym class and taking many a welt to the backside because I got a towel whoop in the buttocks. And vice versa. I dished out a few myself.
Yeah, sure.
But,
Good for you, man.
Absolutely. But so as far as Towel Day here for Roswell, it is a 3-day event. And it really kicks off May 24th at the Roswell Public Library. They're going to.
You're right.
That's a free event. We want to encourage families, kids. I think the schools
Yeah,
are
it
going to be.
started as one day, Towel Day.
Towel
and
Day. That's
everybody's jumping on the bandwagon.
Now it's Towel Weekend.
Yeah.
Which is a good
The
thing.
increasingly inaccurately named RoswellTowelDay.org.
Well, and
It's
like
a
you said,
trilogy now.
Well, and in all fairness, it is international. You get to pick the day. It is Towel Day, even though, we're turning it into Towel Weekend. But it really is. It's a lot of fun. So Friday at 3 o'clock, it kind of all officially kicks off at the library here.
Yes.
And so that's where you're going to have invite
3 Towel Day ambassadors, hopefully. Definitely one doing a reading from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Excellent.
And she's sort of very professional MC that does this genre for a living. So I
she has a
encouraged
really
her-
good way of telling the story.
Well, I encouraged her. Well, you know
And
what? It's
she's
a
an
reader.
author, too.
Yeah, it's a reader's holiday. Why don't you tell these kids how your love of reading led to what you do for a living now? So she might take that approach, and our cosplayer will be there.
And give a shout out to, is it Rosie? Was that
Rocio put it all
at
together
the library?
and
She's
Diana's
excited.
helping
She
now.
wants to encourage students and especially
High
older
schoolers,
ones,
high schoolers to come.
to the library.
Yeah.
They,
And
they
here's
don't.
the thing too, if you want to come in costume and things, and
Absolutely.
please,
That's what they're
obviously,
doing. It's a
family
costume
friendly-
contest
family
at the
friendly.
library.
So think when you think of your
Modest,
costumes, let's not go with sexy this
Well,
or
we
sexy that.
we have it
get
listed
to-
as modest.
yeah,
Modest.
But think about it. If you feel a little embarrassed standing in front of a 4-year-old child wearing that, then maybe you should leave that.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
But that being said, come make fun and
It's
have
the
fun
last
with
day
it.
of school for that matter,
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
So
Kids will
they're
see-
invited. The library has invited the schools. I can't officially say the schools are doing anything,
deal.
but they're
But
invited
they're
to
part
carry
of
a towel, to do modest cosplay, and then show up at the library to be judged in a costume contest.
And then, of course, by 3 o'clock, kids will be getting out of school by then. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's early release on the last day. So,
Hope.
Mom and Dad, when you're picking the kids up and all that, bring them to the library first thing and come meet some of the cosplayers. Come hear the stories. Come get them excited and have some fun. And it's all completely free on Friday.
On the library.
Yeah,
you,
the
even
library
get
is
you
free.
even get to drink the library's own version they made of the Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster.
Oh,
It's the
okay.
equivalent of being hit in the head with a brick wrapped around a lemon. But theirs will be a little less potent at the library.
Yeah, you want the hard stuff. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely come have fun and kind of get and maybe get introduced. Maybe if you're a little little naive to the lore and the stories, because let's face it, if you have a modicum knowledge of Hitchhiker's Guide, it will make it easier to navigate and understand all the lore and the talking and the different events. Because
you can check out the books at the library as well.
Exactly,
They got them
too.
ordered.
Yeah,
Extras.
and so if you never read it, go check it out today, maybe, and get work started on it. Maybe by the 24th, you have it read, or at least a good hunk of it read. And
Yeah,
you can,
it's a trilogy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. The
That's what I'm
Hitchhiker's
saying.
Guide to the Galaxy.
But I've seen people that literally read so fast sometimes. They're like, I read War and Peace last night. I'm like, what?
Well, yeah.
It would take me a month to read that thing.
The
But some
increasingly
people-
inaccurately named trilogy because there's 4, 5, 6 books in the trilogy now.
Well, and that's the whole thing of Hitchhiker's Guide. Everything's not what it seems.
That's
you know what I
right.
mean?
You're right.
It's like you say there's 7. It's like, but, or they say this, that's the whole thing. Appearances aren't what they are. What, you look at one way and think it's one thing. You look at another angle, it's something different. That's all in the lore of the story.
Spoiler alert. Turns out the white mice are experimenting on us.
Exactly.
Wow, who knew?
It's a great movie, and I'm sure the book is too, because like I said, I don't have that background, where it forces people to think that you're not the star of the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's a term that's kind of more modern. You see it on
Uh-huh.
TikTok and it's like, look, this person thinks he's the star of this movie, and I get it, that makes sense. It kind of reminder. It's like the world or the universe and everything is way bigger than you, and there's a lot more going on, and you're just a blip in that sucker. And even though your whole universe is staring you in the face, the whole universe is you're just a little micro fleck in that thing.
That's right.
That's why I carry a towel.
Yeah.
The universe is a much safer place if you carry a towel wherever you go.
But Friday everything will kick off at 3, and then at 7 o'clock we want to invite everyone over to Pepper's for a
This is our icebreaker that we do for
hang out.
Galacticon.
Yeah,
We're just
kind
carrying
of
it
mingle.
forward.
A lot of the people that are involved hang out and
Your roll-in
socialize
night.
and
Roll-in
No
night.
freebies, all on
Yeah.
you.
It used to be on Galacticon, we do cosplay karaoke as a roll-in. As this goes on, we might make the roll-in night Vogue and poetry.
We still are
eventually.
dealing with COVID prices at restaurants, and you
Yes.
got to pay $25
Yeah,
for a hamburger.
exactly.
So yeah, you want that.
No free. Yeah.
But
Friday
Pepper's
nights
has always
on
been a great
you.
host.
Oh, we
Yeah,
love it.
Friday
always a
nights
great
on
host.
you.
They're
But
always
if you
good
want to
to
join
us.
us, we're inviting people to show
come
up.
and meet you. Like you said, you'll get to meet some of the people
Towel
that are
Day ambassadors
Yeah,
rolling
exactly.
in on Friday.
People doing the panels, people that are
Yeah.
actually participating as vendors and things as part of this event. That's you get to meet and greet and be honest, they're all here because they have an interest in the world,
Right.
and so you get to talk shop a little bit with all these folks.
Yeah, and it's kind of a carryover from our Galacticon that we do that.
Yeah.
And
Right.
everybody enjoys it.
So if you want to come steampunk, go ahead.
Yes, we're all inclusive.
Absolutely.
We are inclusive.
Come as you are, or come as you want to be.
Dress for the job you want.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Why am I in HR with a Catwoman outfit? I don't know. Old meme.
That's right. We'll have to, sometimes, that's another meme.
Should have said Batman.
I like Catwoman.
Well, it depends. The question is which Catwoman. That tells you how old you are. If you're saying Julie Newmar, then you're probably all right. But if you're more Halle Berry,
Julie Newmar.
Yeah, she's awesome. I'm not a Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman fan.
Well, I always look at the first one's always the best because if there's a first one, it was so good that there's more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If the first one wasn't that good, then we'll need more of them. So I give the ode to the original.
Super.
But y'all do you. But anyway, so 7 o'clock, that'll be Friday night at Peppers. And then Saturday morning, that's where everything shifts over to the convention center for a more like, I can say, a con-like day.
Yeah.
Where, if you're into Comic Cons and thing, that day will be a con-like day where vendors and panel discussions and cosplay and
with
all.
With a lot more fun.
Yes, exactly.
Just come and there's a building full of activities. Pick the ones that you most are attracted to and get to it.
One of the problems I hope to solve with this is a lot of times we go to an event and you walk around the vendor hall for 30 minutes and then you're done.
Right.
Maybe you bought something, maybe you didn't, but you've seen it all. So we made out a schedule to where it behooves you to hang around.
Yeah,
because
there's stuff going on
There's a
throughout the
cosplay workshop at one where our cosplayer describes, at some time where she describes how she made her costume accurate to this novel.
So if you want to get into it, that's going to be valuable. But if you're already into it and looking for tips and tricks to kind of enhance, then...
Hour later, there's a costume contest judged. Hour later, there's Vogan poetry, the third most... worst poetry in the universe. It's a form of torture. So the high school kids on Saturday, we're going to be reading Vogan poetry. If you don't get booed, you're doing it wrong.
Oh.
And that's a big part of the
something
books.
original.
So come expecting to be...
tortured with poetry.
I was going to say not entertained, but...
As I wrote here, you have to endure it.
Yeah.
Endure it.
Yeah.
And then you can get philosophical with the Tau Day ambassadors. They describe what is a Tau Day ambassador. That's a workshop. The community votes on them. They upload a video.
Okay.
And they are now, once you are one, Yvette is 2023. Ken, I have not met yet. He's 2024's, but like I said, you are one for life.
So
you don't lose the title.
Almost like a Miss America type thing, but for Tal Day. You're a Tal Day ambassador.
You never lose the title.
Right,
That's the
you
thing.
keep the crown for the whole time.
Unless you resign.
I'm sorry. I went to Bounty Paper Towels. I'm no longer part of the Towel Day tradition. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we got a picture from the new Towel Day guy, and he's got his towel on entering a TARDIS.
He owns
there
a
you
TARDIS.
go.
He's a big guy in their fan club in Texas. Lisa, her outfit's a Star Trek, the classic blue dress.
I love that because I think that way, and it goes back to that inclusion thing we're talking about.
And nobody's ever seen one science fiction movie in their life.
Exactly.
You're fans of many things.
I love to see someone doing Jurassic Park with a towel. You know what I mean? See one of the people running through. There's a towel right there.
Right.
Well, actually, I looked at the holiday calendar. May 26th is Dracula Day. Do we not have a 3-day festival in the making?
Exactly. Yeah.
Years to.
Yeah. Well,
Roswell Talk Days, Hoopy Days.
In all fairness, though, because Dracula is much of generational culture too. Depending on when you grew up and how you grew up,
who's James Bond
imaging of Dracula is. Is it more of the Bram Stoker type thing, or is it more of the traditional book, or is it more the actual historical man and that stuff, and not so much of the Count Dracula or Count Chocula look to him.
The whole vampire craze 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. And that was in waves, too. And then I think we had vampire phase. Vampire and werewolf phase. And then it went to zombie phase.
Oh, God.
Here's the joke on the vampires. So you also have the one on Sesame Street. Well, he doesn't count.
Yes.
Actually, he does.
He should count the most because he technically he does.
Can he count to 42?
But ooh, yes, you'll hear a lot of 42 over the course of the weekend.
There's a lot of little Easter eggs from this whole thing that are passed throughout the convention, and like 42, like Vogan poetry. That's all through the book.
Sure, but that thing that excites me is in a movie that's full of Easter eggs. That's where the true. It's like Yeah, you know the level 1 Easter eggs. Do you know the level 7 Easter eggs? That's what I'm
exactly.
talking.
That's the crowd we're bringing in. They're going to nerd it out with each other, and I'm here for it. I'm going to watch them, but they know way more than I do.
But that's the fun part about it too, and you get to see it. So it's really an all-day affair. You start at 10 with the opening ceremonies and everything, and then you can hang out pretty much all day with the different things going on. Like you said, the Vogan poetry, that's going to start like an hour after we're getting open up here, so that's a little earlier in the day. But if you want to stick around for some of the costume and the costume and towel competition, that's going to be close to 4:30 later in the afternoon here.
There's something scheduled pretty much every hour.
Yeah. And then, of course, in between all of that, they're having these different panel discussions, these different opportunities to meet and greet some of the panel speakers and guests, vendors and things. Obviously, if you're shopping for collectibles and stuff, we got you covered. They're going to have a bunch of vendors.
Now, we have 10 of our Galacticon vendors that have been loyal to us through the years that will be set up as well,
deal.
including a towel.
Uh-huh.
A towel
Someone
maker.
who makes towels.
And so the collectibles and stuff will be all across all
they're
facets
tried
of Science
and true
Fiction.
Galacticon vendors.
Yeah, if you're looking, if you're a comic book person, you're a Superman or because some people, I get it. You get into cons and like a con is a comic book thing for comic books, and you're not wrong. That was the original started. But guess what?
Right.
Yeah.
It
now
got
they
more
have
popular.
anime.
It got more bigger. The thing you wanted to happen happened.
Then people
and
started dressing like the comic books, and wait a second.
And now a Comic Con, particularly the San Diego Comic Con, is now pretty much the official release place for anything science fiction, whether
Marvel
it's a game,
and DC
movies,
movies,
television,
Well,
any platform.
You can have an anime con,
Let's
you can
bring
have a
it to
steampunk
Roswell,
con,
though.
you can have probably a sci-fi con.
I would say that's a good
General,
description. But like I said, this thing will have facets for everything. But if you are the purist of purists with the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy
If you're a hoopy
world,
prude who really knows where your towel is.
We got enough inside baseball for you that you're going to love it. And
that evening is capping it off.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the dinner.
Yeah, talk a little bit about the dinner and
Well,
everything.
we mentioned the number 42, just random factoid. It's believed that the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is the reason Fox Mulder's apartment number is 42. That's the impact this book series
Easter eggs.
It creates
has
Easter
had
eggs
on it,
for
yes.
other properties.
So you mentioned the library is free, and on Friday, all of that, our admission to the convention center is $10 general admission, but $42 includes an immersive dinner as well. The Roswell Community Little Theater players, we're really good at our immersive dinners that go
They
with the
do
play.
an amazing job with that.
Same thing. We're going to have, there's a meal described in the second book. It's like the first book ends, Arthur's still in his bathrobe. Hey, Earthman, you hungry? Well, suppose I'm a bit peckish. Let's go for a bite at the restaurant at the end of the universe, which is at the end, and that's the second novel in the series. That restaurant, Milliways, is at the end of time where you're in a bubble and you get to see the universe die. Anyway.
Sounds delightful.
The meal, the cow is genetically modified to predispose to want to be eaten. The cow's walking around, well, my shank is looking really good today. Our CLT players are going to try to recreate as an immersive experience.
Nice.
No, they are going to succeed in recreating as an immersive experience.
They will do it every time.
Yeah, so our special guests will be there. We got about 20 extra tickets we can sell on that $42 package.
So please
and
take
that's
advantage
on
of that.
stage, 7:30 at RCLT.
But you do need to get the ticket before.
I think the 20th is the cutoff date for the beef.
and I'm telling
it's a
you,
beef dish. Beef and grumpy vegetables.
The communal theater has very limited space on stage. So if you really want to do this, you probably need to get that booked this week.
You're right.
If you wait till close to the 20th, I'm telling you, and it doesn't matter. Every time the communal theater does their immersion dinners and they do it almost every play that they put out. They're kind of in auditions, and we got some big ones coming here, so they're in a bit of a
Married Alive
hiatus
coming up
bit.
next. Yeah,
a little bit of a public hiatus here as they're getting ready for the next season. But if you missed those immersive dinners, it happens every time. Because there really is. They only got about 20 or so. I mean, it's really not a lot of space up there.
At max, we're going 35. They wouldn't even let me push it to 42. They're like, absolutely not, 35. And I've got a dozen, like between the Talday ambassadors, the cosplayer Odefell. She's got 100,000 followers on TikTok.
Yeah.
She's going to be recreating one of the characters.
And so what I'm
as
trying to
well.
say is this is highly coveted, but very limited.
Yeah, I'm taking a dozen of them myself.
So you better do that. Like if you wait till later in the month, I guarantee you're going to be on the outside looking in.
Now,
so get it done this
obviously,
week.
at the door is $10 to get in on Saturday.
Yeah. And that's good for all day there.
That pays for our facility.
Yes.
I'm sorry we have to do that.
Well,
convention center's not cheap.
People
but
need to
it's
make
excellent.
money, and it does cost money to run the lights and run the all of the buildings.
And bring in the guests. That's probably one of our biggest expenses.
Part of my burden was bringing in high end. Like this cosplayer is going to be recreating the movie accurate Marvel 616 Scarlet Witch. That's what she's going to open us with on Saturday.
Argue that you're in competition because Tal Day is international, and if you want the big guns of Tal Day, they're going to be going to the bigger places.
Good point.
And so it's kind of a big deal that you're able to get these folks to come to Roswell because there was about 50 other entities pulling at their arms saying, no, come here.
Yeah.
Because it is celebrated across the planet.
That's right.
On the 25th.
That's right.
I was told it's often coffee house scale.
Okay.
That they do their Bogan poetry. They
That
dress
makes sense.
up.
It does.
Because those are
something
places
like
that-
Stellar or Hot Bev vibe. This is a little bigger.
This is on a bigger stage than that. So and to be honest, we hope it to grow.
Yes,
This is Tal Day. Roswell year one. Let's see.
And you have to start somewhere.
Proof of concept. I would love to see it grow into a larger festival to replace what we lost with Hike It and Spike It, so to speak.
Yeah.
I've wanted to do this 20 years. My ex-wife talked me down from it once, and no name, a former chamber person said, "No, the hotels are booked Memorial Day weekend. You'll never get any support." I wish we'd have invented Airbnb or something instead to solve the problem. But I've wanted to do it forever. Galacticon is backing and just give me a little rope to run with.
Sure.
And the community I'm reaching out to is what's really going to make this amazing. The Tal Day ambassadors and the cosplayer
and that's what I like about this event is because at the end of the day, it's for the niche. It's for the people that live, breathe, eat, sleep, and love the universes of which they and it's that all of that. But these are equally as much for the half kind of know. It's like, I love the book. It was good. No, I don't spend my life living by it, but I do loved it and I do enjoy it. Or you know what? I love
people can quote it like Shakespeare or the Bible, though, and that's part of the fun. We just be standing there reading reading from memory your favorite passages.
Yeah, and so this event is for the most dyed-in-the-wool fans to people that have a casual passing interest or just love the whole genre, love science fiction. I love going to cons. I love the panels. I love the cosplay. I love, I don't have a particular one, but I love and appreciate the time and effort and artistry that goes involved with this. And that's, when you, and that's why cosplay is so popular because it's not dressing up for Halloween. That's these people study it.
It's professional.
Yeah, like and I just know, just using Star Wars as an example because that's a little bit more meticulous than other universes. Like to get into the groups, to be a stormtrooper, your level of detail is insane. Like it puts the United States military to shame. It's like no. Yeah, you talk about pay attention to detail. No, when you get in Star Wars is an example, but that's
you're right though.
But that's how it kind of is, and so
Ren Fair.
Yeah.
Hey, that's not 1500s accurate. Those guys will call you out. I'd like to see more of that in Roswell.
Yeah.
All
Which,
that
by the way,
eye for detail and expertise.
Here in a couple weeks, unfortunately, I don't know if it's the same weekend or right around that time, but they're doing a Renaissance Festival in Lincoln County, Reed Austin, Lincoln County Forest, and I think that's the first time too. And so I love that more of that's coming here, and we're seeing more of that.
There's a difference between costume and cosplay. And the costume, you dress up in the costume, and you may make it and may be totally detailed. Cosplay is you create a character and a persona within that costuming.
And sometimes it emulates after a character in the story that you're...
To be cosplay accurate, I should have walked in here and said, "Great things are afoot."
Yeah.
And you'd have said, "What's your name?" And I'd have said, "My name is unimportant." And then we'd have had a chit-chat, and finally I tell you, "My name is Slark Bittifast." I told you it was unimportant. That's a little more cosplay. I mean, character.
Yeah, you're
And it's the same as the immersive dinner.
Yeah.
When the theater does the dinners, the actors are in costume, and they play their character.
That's right.
They cosplay
and
or
they treat
improv their
and
character.
and we'll carry on.
Yeah.
And generally with the plays, they'll give you clues and stuff if it's a mystery or something. This will be more obviously Hitchhiker's Guide themed, and so they will hit you with knowledge and tidbits that if you know Hitchhiker's Guide, you're like, I said what you did there.
Yeah, Beverly and Jessica came up with the table setting is a flower pot that is cracked with petunias in it.
Love it.
And that was so Easter egg specific to the book that they just picked it out, and that's our table settings, cracked petunia today.
And that's the part that the hardcore love.
Yeah.
Because that's the detail they want.
Because you feel like you belong.
Yes,
you're there.
Exactly. And then for people that are kind of on the outside looking in, that's the inclusion part. And when they explain it to you, that's our thing for this. And welcome to the club.
And now you know.
And this is the lesson I want to teach all of our cosplayers and people that are loving into their thing. You love it and you want other people to love it. Be open and share about it.
That's
right. I know sometimes you get like, you're not worthy of my knowledge of this. You got to get here before you can get to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I get your passion, but if you're trying to get other people to have your passion, arms open, not arms closed. Arms open.
And not fighting over the book or the movie or the radio series or the
Just
be
show
inclusive.
Now you can have those debates with your friends down the road.
Yeah.
On who's the more. But when you're trying to get people to like what you like, you gotta go to the bare bones level of it.
Kindness matters.
And this event is just so if you're the uber nerd that wants the details that are so we got you. But if you're like, dude, I just want to come and see some cool science stuff,
get selfies with the actors and
we got you covered too.
Towel Day ambassadors and their royalty, the cosplayer and her two different outfits. It's a huge selfie event. And if you're in costume, it's even better. We'll be asking you for pictures, maybe.
And maybe if you're a big Star Wars or Star Trek, represent.
Do it.
Come represent.
All
represent
realms are welcome.
You'll make some new friends. I guarantee
Very inclusive sci-fi cosplay event.
Because guess what? People that love Hitchhiker's Guide probably also someone like Lord of the Rings. They like Star Wars. They like Star Trek. They like Marvel movies. They like anime. They like the things that
I've
you
seen
like.
you
too.
at all of them.
So they can relate. So definitely. We're running out of time, so I want to make sure we get all the events. But Saturday, and then, of course, like you said, we have the big improv dinner that kind of highlights it. Get your tickets now. Don't wait till
Correct.
a week from now.
$42 includes dinner and admission Saturday.
Yeah, but if you just want to do the con stuff all Saturday, that's $10 to get in. You get at the door. You can get advance tickets.
Full schedule, RoswellTowDay.com.
RoswellTowDay.com. If you want the immersive dinner, you need to go there now. As soon as we get off the air.
Towday.org is the official big one, but our local RoswellTowDay.com.
Yeah, if you want to learn the lore of the whole behind the day.
Oh, and Sunday, the UFO Museum is allowing inviting them, these three Towday ambassadors and our cosplayer to go down for a photo op as well.
Excellent.
So
I wanted to make sure we get that
Sunday.
in too. So come to the UFO Museum.
Yeah, we're not charging for that, but there is admission to
museum does have fees, and you'll
But they're giving these guys compliments. She said, just give me a head count, and we'll come down and do a nice little photo op on Sunday.
Awesome.
They're going to go around town. There's a list on the website, 42 things to do in Roswell, because that's what the Towday ambassador. Well, what's there to do there? You guys tell me Roswell.
You need to
first.
take credit for that.
Thank
sir.
you. We are. 42 things to do in Roswell is on this site now. Crack a geode at Ancients of Days, the museums to visit and such.
Yeah.
Odefell, our cosplayer, is going to be bopping around for Thursday and Friday.
So you see him
doing
around
those
town.
things.
Yeah.
And she's got 100,000 TikTok followers. So
that's amazing. So go to TowDayRoswell.com.
Roswell Towday.
Sorry. Thank you. It's RoswellTowday.com. Go there. You can see the thing. Get your tickets for the event. Of course, if you follow Galacticon on Facebook, there's links to all of the Towday events and things. Just if you get to Facebook, Roswell Galacticon, first thing will pop up. Like it, follow it.
Got a couple events on there related to
and
this.
plus, you're going to want to stay abreast of that one for the stuff coming up in the week.
July 4th weekend.
Right. So,
That's right.
Excellent.
July 4th is on a Thursday, so
that's right.
We start Friday. It's a great timing.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's kind
Friday,
of
Saturday, and Sunday, 5th, 6th, 7th.
Usually the July 4th is like right after or right this time. It's out of the way.
Exactly.
Next year, Towday is on a Sunday, so
we're okay.
prior to a Memorial Day.
That's
so
right.
if we want to start Hoopy Days, holler at me now, guys.
Absolutely. Get involved. But come out again. May 24th is everything at the library beginning at 3 p.m. 10 a.m. on the 25th at the Convention Civic Center. And then 10 a.m. at the UFO Museum is when our guests will be there
for photo ops,
greeting and
photo,
and
then walk around the museum and learn something.
Come hang out with the aliens.
If you haven't been to the museum lately, you need to go. They're really
it's super
developing
upgraded. They're always
With computers
updating and doing
interactive
stuff.
exhibits,
Absolutely.
etc.
Yeah, it's good. So, well, thank you guys. Well,
Thank you so
much.
We'll see you next time here.
Yeah, I'll be back.
If you want them to come back on Friday to talk to a Talda ambassador, when they're here on that first Friday before they do the library, maybe.
Well, we can do
maybe
that.
you're
Let
not
me look at
booked.
my schedule
Yeah.
here, and we'll figure that out.
Ambassador, cosplayer,
That's right.
ambassadors.
And we'll be seeing you to talk Galacticon.
And we'll get that all going, too. All right, 8:58, quick break before I am no longer allowed to be on the radio. Don't go away.
Senator Greg Nybert is known as a conservative Republican who is effectively fighting for us in Santa Fe. In the last session, Greg Nybert helped stop harmful legislation that would penalize New Mexico businesses with outrageously expensive financial burdens. He knows small businesses do not need more regulation. Greg Nybert helped defeat progressive attempts to make it illegal for New Mexicans to own certain types of firearms and firearm accessories. He knows it's important to protect our rights. During his legislative career, Greg has been responsible for stopping numerous anti-oil and gas bills. He knows it is important to protect our jobs. Senator Greg Nybert is the only candidate for District 27 who has a proven record of protecting us from big government intrusion. Greg Nybert stands for the rights of the people and pledges to continue his work. Please vote for Greg Nybert for Senate District 27.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Senate.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin and Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin and Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin and Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
Wakefield Oil Company is a name you can rely on, with full service at the pump the way it used to be. You can expect service in just 15 seconds. They offer bulk fuel and oil services and even diesel exhaust fluid. Wakefield Oil Company will deliver to farms, ranches, dairies, the oil fields, and more with dependable service you can count on. So the next time you need service or delivery, go with the name that locals have trusted since 1983. Wakefield Oil Company, 311 South Virginia in Roswell. Let them earn your business.
You may be wondering why an Eastern New Mexico rancher wants to be part of our state Senate. The answer is simple. I want our conservative values heard in Santa Fe. My name is Pat Boone, and I'm running for New Mexico Senate District 27. This beautiful state is primarily rural land, and my family's been ranching here since 1884. I'll fight for your land rights, your parental rights, and your right to bear arms. I'd appreciate your Republican primary vote on June 4th.
Paid for by the committee to elect Pat Boone, Mark McKay, Treasurer.
Legislation is sorely needed. He adds that states should be required to obtain proof of citizenship in person when signing people up to vote.
You definitely should be concerned that illegal aliens might be voting in 2024. And that's why it is critical that we pass the SAVE Act to safeguard our federal elections and ensure that only Americans get to decide American elections.
Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene's attempt to oust Johnson as Speaker of the House has failed. Democrats, as well as many Republicans, oppose the effort.
Experts are standing by 20. Experts are standing by 20. Beware.
Call 300 66.
Again.
That's
says having the data is the first step to making policy decisions.
Profits soar 92% for the fiscal year. Sales grew in all major global markets except China. Annual sales rose by about 20%. Nissan hopes to maintain its leadership in electric vehicles in its home market of Japan. More on these stories at townhall.com.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're looking pretty good today, mid-80s on the afternoon high, sunshine, and not too windy. Overnight will be clearing and our overnight low in the mid-50s, and then for tomorrow, a mix of sunshine and clouds and a little bit cooler. We'll stay in the mid-70s on the afternoon high. Maybe a shower or two on Saturday, and then quickly back to sunny weather on Sunday. Highs in the 80s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3
Chris and Yellow
of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday.
Yes.
It is Thursday.
It is.
For a hot minute there, I thought my show was over about 10 minutes ago, and I was like, oh, it's 10. No, it's only 9 o'clock.
Mike likes to travel in the future.
My brain was just, there you go. I was in the future. That's what it was. I was in the future. Oh, I will never forget. Speaking of that, this was years ago. We were doing a remote in Artesia at it was a cell phone store. I don't remember which one it was.
Okay.
And it was one of the earlier times when we were using the internet to get our audio on the radio.
Okay.
And so we had a program, software that we used to do this, but there was a delay. Up to about 30 seconds.
Oh, wow.
So I would do a remote, and I'm sitting in the trailer doing the remote, talking, and then the client is hearing me 30 seconds. So the client heard me. He's like, how are you? And literally didn't understand the whole. So I literally said we had a flux capacitor in here, and I'm 30 seconds in the future. And they legit looked at me like this was plausible.
Right. When you reach a certain level of technical ability, you can make people believe pretty much anything.
But they could not wrap their head around there was a delay on the internet, and so I literally joked about flux capacitor, and they were like, "Really?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm running with this." And Gene was with me, and Gene's more smart alecky than I am, and so it was a cocktail of this person was in circles by the time we got done with him. And finally, it was just like, no, it's just the internet. It's literally, I did it ahead of the time.
But Gene's one of those people, though, that really likes to make people feel stupid by using, the actual technical terms for things.
Oh, yeah, he did.
I'm like, just say the blue plug.
Yeah. Well, he talks to us like that, and he's like, we're just dumb DJs. We're not engineers or.
I got into this business so I wouldn't have to think or wear slacks,
Yeah, to be honest, we're the people that do more damage than good when it comes to hooking things up and all that. We know just enough to be dangerous.
That's right.
And that's generally not good. So. By the way, I got to engineer some baseball games this weekend. I'm going to watch.
just so we're clear, we do know a little bit, just a little bit.
Actually, I'm okay with most things radio. It's when you throw video in that I get all cattywampus. But anyway, happy Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
We will have baseball for you Friday, Saturday. Got it, Rocket playoff baseball here on the radio. Game one of it's the first round. They play a best of 3. And so their first game will be Friday at 6 p.m. Mm-hmm. And then game 2, I believe at 11 on Saturday. I need to look that up, and I keep not doing that. But and then if there's a game 3, it'll happen right after game 2. So, but we'll have it for you here on the radio, 106.5 here Friday night and Saturday.
Yes, sir.
So, what else we got? I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Pretty solidly sums it up. No broadcast this weekend outside of baseball, so yeah.
Baseball.
Uh-huh.
You know what movie I need to go watch? I haven't watched in a while. Mr. Baseball.
I've never seen it.
Love that movie.
That's Kevin Costner, right?
No. That's the Tom Selleck.
Oh, Tom
baseball
Selleck.
joint.
Okay.
Mr. Baseball.
Yeah, never seen that one.
Love that movie. It's so the premise of the movie. It came out in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And the premise of the movie is he's a big time player, Major League Baseball player for the Yankees, or I think it was the Yankees or the Detroit Tigers. Maybe he was a Major League Baseball player. Tom Selleck's character.
Right.
Well, he's kind of a little over the hill compared to he's not in his prime of his career anymore, I should say. So he gets traded to a Japanese baseball team, and so. It's basically him going sent to play baseball in Japan. And that's the whole movie where he's this awkward dude that's, Tom Selleck is a tall guy anyway. And then he's in Japan where he looks like a giant.
Mm-hmm.
And but then it's kind of talking about the Japanese baseball. And so it basically goes from a man who's pretty much a prima donna, I'm a baseball star, look at me, you treat me as accordingly, to being more humbled and more a better human being. And of course he meets a Japanese woman, falls in love, the whole trope. But as far as baseball and one-liners, there's some great lines in that movie. When the Japanese are trying to educate him on stuff, it's just like first you bathe, then you shower, and it's just the things you say that they say. It's just, and then they're like he's trying to incorporate some American baseball traditions and things with their stuff. Like, baseball here is a little jokey, and it's like it's fun, and they take it very seriously, so he's doing his little pranks, and they all look at it first as like, what are you doing? And then it's like, oh no. So he rubs off on them, and they rub off on him. And that's the whole point of the movie.
Nice.
But it's funny because the lines and the smart alecky comments and the I'm kissing your butt but really insulting you kind of lines that are in that movie are pretty good. But Mr. Baseball is good.
I'll check that out.
Good Tom Selleck movie.
I don't know why this made me think of it, but there's a joke in Family Guy. Brian is dating kind of a dumber girl named Jillian.
Mm-hmm.
She calls him because she can't get something to work, and he's trying to give her instructions on how to fix it. He said, okay, so is the DVD the right side up? And then he waits and he says, okay, so you can see Mr. 3000, right?
Another good baseball movie.
Yeah, that's what we think is Mr. 3000.
Yeah, I like that movie
That's Cedric
too.
the Entertainer, though, right?
No, that's Bernie Mac.
Oh, Bernie Mac, yeah.
Yeah.
I get those two confused.
Cedric
all the time.
might be in it as a, but he's not the main character.
Yeah.
It's Bernie Mac. No longer with us.
No, sadly, no longer with us.
Which, pound for pound, the Bernie Mac show was one of the best shows on Fox at its time.
Yeah,
I loved the Bernie Mac show.
The Bernie Mac shtick got a little old because it's basically he's like,
yeah, but he's the inventor of that shtick.
Easily frustrated at the mildest things. It's like Steve Harvey almost took that mantle and ran with it.
Yeah, like I would say that there's people today that are just riding Bernie Mac's gig.
Yeah.
They think Bernie Mac's been gone long enough that we don't know. I know.
There's something about just a well-placed eye roll.
Yeah.
Just really,
Yeah, he had Bernie Mac had a way to make you give you a look that no matter how smart you know or how knowledgeable you think you know on something, he'll give you the look and it's like, and he just has you. I don't know what it is, but he has a look that when he looked at you, he's like, I just question everything that I said was real or not. Like he makes you look like, am I right? Because he looked. I don't know what it is. He had there was a certain look that he could hit you with his eyeballs or something. I don't know, but he give you that look like he just completely made me look like crap and without saying a word. And it just he had that look like that. It's. All I can compare it to is like your mom when you're doing something wrong, that your mom gives you the look but it only really penetrates you. Like your mom can't do it to other people, but she can do it to you. You know what I mean? It was kind of like that. So, but anyway.
I'm trying to remember if he was the one from the Kings of Comedy.
He was one of them.
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember if he was the You Don't Understand. Was that the one Kick It?
Was Robin Harris part of the original Kings of Comedy?
Robin Harris, I think, was one of the original Kings, yeah.
I think it was him and Cedric and Bernie Mac. I feel like I'm missing somebody.
Well, Steve Harvey.
Oh, Harvey, yes. Steve.
Yeah.
But, I know. Well, Steve Harvey back then was like Steve Harvey now, but Steve Harvey then was the Urkel of that group, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like he was the more family, where Cedric and Bernie, they were more liked by older, by younger or, people, mature people. Whereas is Hanging with Mr. Cooper was kind of your family sitcom-y kind of. Right. That's where he was at those days. So anyway, I didn't mean to get a whole diatribe about Bernie Mac and all that stuff. It just kind of went that way. But
I thought it was on here.
But Bernie Mac show was good. I don't care what he says. I like it. Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We'll get you update with the weather and all that here in just a bit. Crystal Noble from the Roswell Humane Society will join us, give us an update on pets looking for homes right now and thrift store stuff. Of course, I saw online yesterday more people doing shenanigans out at and videotaping people stealing and looting, and just want to remind people, don't leave stuff out front because this is what happens every single time. It gets looted, and it'd be one thing if they just took it, but they don't. They break lights, they rip down fences, locks, and they tear up stuff to get to it. So please. But anyway, we'll get to all that here in just a bit. I was already getting on my soapbox. But when you're short, you live on a soapbox. That's all I'm saying.
So what I was talking about earlier was there's a new, it's a camera, but it's AI enabled. And what it does is if it sees somebody on your property that's not supposed to be there, it audibly says you have 5 seconds to leave this property. If they don't leave, it can then shoot either paintballs or tear gas at them.
I am down for
there you go.
How awesome is that? Well, I was like, maybe we should stick with the paintballs because I don't want the tear gas to get into the cats or dogs by accident. So, stick with in case it does creep into a window or something. I don't want them to get all, But paintball, I'm just like, can we go automatic? Can we go full auto? And I want to see a barrage.
Just put a bump stock on it.
Right, yeah, and just lie. Oh, that would make me so. I want it for my house. Humane Society is well and good. I want it for my own home.
Now, speaking as a man who's experienced it, one paintball hurts. 100 paintballs hurt worse.
I saw him get lit up. You know what he used for protection? A saucepan that was about this big.
Hey, it was effective.
It was a little tiny saucepan, and he held it over.
You make it smaller and smaller every time. It was a normal size saucepan. He's like, it was this big. I'm like, no, it was a normal saucepan that I used as like a cod piece.
It was like this round.
Like,
it was like
it was not that small.
It was the size of like a big cookie.
Is this what makes you feel good about yourself?
Well, the fact that it was sitting there and he's holding the handle, and literally the bowl of the pot is cupping his crotch.
Yeah.
Wow. They just unload.
And
it was 3 guys going full automatic.
And you'd have thought somebody was playing a steel drum out there. All they wanted to do was shoot me in the crotch.
And the part that did get me the most, that makes me laugh the hardest. Yeah, the pan is the piece de resistance. But it's the moment, because prior to that, Sean was kind of like, all right, let's do this and all that. The moment those first paintballs started hitting him, his face changed. And that change went from, hey, this was great to what am I getting into?
Why did I start? Why did I do this?
I think fear for the first time it entered his head at that moment. You could see his eyes. They were the biggest I've ever seen Sean. And then he starts to try to go fetal while standing.
I'll tell you what went through my head.
A
couple paintballs. No, I'll tell you what went through my head is when it started, instantly my mind went to, this is only the beginning of it. And then you start thinking, how long is this going to last?
I ain't gonna lie. By the time I was done, I felt oogie. I was like, we just torqued this.
Oh, that's your line?
Well, The time when people were throwing bologna sandwich products at you, I felt a little oogie about that one too. When he's sitting there bare bellied with someone throwing bologna at his, I was like, all right, we've hit a new low.
That was
the man sitting there with bread and mayonnaise and bologna on his
sometimes the ideas come naturally. Sometimes you have to birth them yourself. All right.
But the paintball, I ain't gonna lie. I now that it's over, it was funny. But when it was going down, I was like, man, you might have crossed the line. Anyway. All right, it's 9:19. Let's take about a 4-minute break to pay for some ads, including a few political ads, and then we will talk here with Crystal, not about Sean's torture, but about dogs and cats and saucepans. We'll be back. Don't go away.
Senator Greg Nybert is known as a conservative Republican who is effectively fighting for us in Santa Fe. In the last session, Greg Nybert helped stop harmful legislation that would penalize New Mexico businesses with outrageously expensive financial burdens. He knows small businesses do not need more regulation. Greg Nybert helped defeat progressive attempts to make it illegal for New Mexicans to own certain types of firearms and firearm accessories. He knows it's important to protect our rights. During his legislative career, Greg has been responsible for stopping numerous anti-oil and gas bills. He knows it is important to protect our jobs. Senator Greg Nybert is the only candidate for District 27 who has a proven record of protecting us from big government intrusion. Greg Nybert stands for the rights of the people and pledges to continue his work. Please vote for Greg Nybert for Senate District 27.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Senate.
Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company, here to announce that our geraniums are ready. So now the great debate begins. Are they pink or are they raspberry sorbet? Are they orange or are they Caribbean coral? Well, whatever you call them, they're the prettiest geraniums anywhere. We raise them in our own greenhouse, then send them home with you to brighten up the world. So come get yours now while the selection is best. Don't worry about the silly names.
I heard that.
Yes, dear. Coming, dear. Right away, dear. Of course, you're right.
Martine's Capital Cafe in Roswell offers authentic and highly rated New Mexico food. Explore their amazing menu featuring huevos rancheros or asado with eggs or their green chili stew. And you can't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger, all made from scratch using their finest and freshest ingredients. Open for carryout with curbside delivery or limited dine-in. Just call ahead 624-2111. Martine's Capital Cafe, always pleasing the most refined palate. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th in Roswell.
It's Kubota Orange Days. Shop the year's best selection of Kubota tractors, zero-turn mowers, and utility vehicles, including the #1 selling compact tractor in the USA. And now through June 30th, get 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,300 off L3302 tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Visit Amigo Machinery, located at 2801 Southeast Main Street, Roswell.
Pressure Services LLC in Artesia has immediate openings for experienced vacuum truck, kill truck, and hydrovac operators. Operators must hold a Class A CDL or Class D CDL, at least 2 years of experience, and be at least 25 years of age. All positions require a clean driving record and must be able to pass a DOT drug and alcohol screen. Pressure Services offers great pay with IRA benefits and employer contributions toward health benefits. Please apply in person at 402 West Main in Artesia, inside the Age Safety Facility. Equal Opportunity Employer.
This is State Representative Candy Spence Ezell. I'm a lifelong farmer and rancher. And for the past decade, I've been watching the radical policies of the so-called progressives in Santa Fe rapidly chip away at our traditional way of life. I've served in the State House for quite a while, and I'm known for saying no to Governor MLG every chance I get. I'm running now for the State Senate, where I have a greater impact in fighting for our economic development, our rights, our freedoms, and our Western way of life. I'm a life member of the NRA. In my time in the legislature, I have received an A+ rating from the NRA every year I've been in office. I am unshakably pro-Second Amendment and always stand up to those trying to destroy our Constitution. I'm Candy Spence Ezell, asking for your vote in the upcoming Republican primary on June 4th.
Paid for by Candy Spence Ezell for State Senate, District 32.
A Greek-Canadian man invented the Hawaiian pizza. His name was Tex Colorado, and he was from Detroit. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 24 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, now officially, Crystal Noble back with us with the Roswell Humane Society. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? How's life today? I know we saw we were talking a little bit about the people still doing stuff, but other than that, are things going well?
It's going very well.
Good.
Our roof is officially done.
Excellent.
So there's no more loud bangs.
No more construction. No more buttoning up, patching up, and doing everything is completely renovated and ready for the next generation of dogs and cats to be there.
And now they're starting on, air conditioner time because it is getting a lot hotter.
And that's weird because it'll be like now it's nice, but like
tomorrow's
it'll be
nice.
But it'll be 90 again, and like next Tuesday I think we're back in the 90s. So yeah.
And I even saw like one day next week it's like 98. I'm all, might as well be a triple digit.
Yep. So, and quite frankly, dogs and cats give off heat.
They do.
When you got enough of them, you need some AC in there because they put out some. I mean, think about it. Every time I don't know how many times you're cold in your house, dog sits on my lap. There's your little heater right there.
Well, it's funny because, I have my dogs, they sit next to me on the couch.
Yeah.
And so one of them gets up and I'm like, oh my God, it's cold in
I
here.
know.
And John's looking at me like, he's like, it's been cold. And I'm like, oh, I have my insulated blankets over here.
Yeah. And the cats, like my cats know, like if I'm sick, and I'm laying in bed, they don't lay on me like if I'm in bed. But when I'm sick, it's like they know. And
they're your little heating pads.
And they literally climb on me and lay on me. And no other time do they do that.
Yep.
But when they know, they sense it. They're smart. But anyway, they put off a lot of heat. And so yes, air conditioning is very important in the humane society.
It is. Yeah. But as temperatures are getting warmer. People who have pets that are outside, they need to make sure that they're starting to get stuff summarized. Proper shade, water, fresh water.
If you're walking your dogs,
early in the morning or later in the evening.
Middle of the day is unless they're completely on grass the whole time, and even then it's short exposure. But keep them off the concrete, keep them off the pavement. And if you do have to, yes, they do make products for shoes and things, and please invest in those.
They really do, and they now have cooling vests.
Yeah.
So if you have a dog that's prone to like heat stroking, but they're energetic and you need to drain some of their energy, I'm not sure if Walmart has them, but I know Petco has them, and they're just like little vests that you put on like a harness, and it's got gel in it, and it helps keep them cool.
Nice. So it's kind of like they have human versions of those too.
Yeah. Yeah, they do, and I'm pretty sure that's where they got the idea from.
Sure, absolutely.
But it's they're really cool. They feel really nice when it's really hot. I'll pull one out of the box.
I was about to say, they're probably nice, and for a dog to be, or cat, a dog in this case, that's the one's going to be hanging outside, not the cats. I imagine it's a huge, because they, obviously, y'all know, they sweat through their panting, through their tongue. And
right.
Things. But especially if it's a breed of dog that's not genetically supposed to be in this climate, like a husky.
Right.
They're built for tundra. They're not built for New Mexico desert.
Right.
They're going to have a harder time than even they're going to shed like crazy because their coat will be but they are not built to handle hot. They're built to handle cold. So 80s and 90s are extreme temperatures for these dogs.
They are.
You need to treat them as such. Keep them indoors. Plenty of water.
Boxers, bulldogs, pugs, anything with a short snout.
Yeah.
Are super easy to overheat and heat stroke because they don't have the full nostril to inhale and exhale.
Makes sense.
So they breathe a lot faster.
Well, I imagine the air's hotter.
It
is. There is a cooling deal that's actually going on when it.
So when we're running or whatever, doing activity, we breathe faster. If we don't slow our breathing down, we can overheat, hyperventilate. Yeah. Well, it's the same with those types of dogs because they don't have the full length to be able to come in, go out.
Yeah, if you see your dog doing the heavy panting thing, that's a sign that you need to get them some water, get them indoors, get them cooled off because they are heating. They're hot, and continued exposure will cause heat stroke or other issues.
Also, with warmer weathers comes nasty little creatures.
Absolutely.
Fleas and ticks and mosquitoes. We're already starting to see dogs come in covered in ticks. If you have ticks in your yard, the best thing is to treat the inside of your house, treat your pets, and treat the yard.
Yep.
But you need to do all three things at the same time, because if you're doing them separately, you're not going to kill the source. Because if you're treating the outside, they're going to come inside. If you're treating the inside, they're going to go outside.
Yeah.
And if your dog goes in and out, they're going to be taking them from inside to outside or outside to inside.
That's why I would probably start with the dog, because and they've got good medicines.
They have a variety. They have topical, they have oral. Us at the shelter, we use Brevecto.
So if it's a tick infested environment, that medicine will mitigate that.
Yes.
Now, if you are grossly over, like when I first, years ago, we rented a house, and I moved in. That day we moved in, I let the dog out back to go bathroom and do his thing while I was moving, and that's when I learned how bad the ticks were in that yard. In 10 minutes of her hanging out back, and she was on Frontline or whatever at the time. In the 10 minutes that she was out back there, I picked off approximately 200 ticks, and I missed one or two because she got sick. I had to take her to the vet because of fear of tick fever. But anyway, you treat her once, and literally I treated the yard and the house one time with some great products, and it was not a problem ever again. It's very easy to really get rid of if you do it properly. But just my tips from my own experience, treat the dog first, then treat the yard and the house next. Because the dog is going to need the protection and quicker because of your yard situation. So that would be, and talk to your vets about what they recommend and things like that. But your Frontline or the equivalents of that now are all pretty good stuff.
They are. Yeah. There's NexGard, Brevecto, Frontline.
Yeah.
Frontline is topical.
Is that still the one? Because that one used to put on the shoulder blades.
Yeah.
That was that
Frontline
one.
is topical.
Yeah.
Then you have NexGard and Brevecto. Those are both chewable.
Okay. Kind of like your Heart Guard.
Kind of like the Heart Guard. Basically, NexGard and Brevecto are designed for just like fleas and ticks. They're not designed for heartworm.
Okay.
Heart Guard is specifically for heartworm.
And you have to, and your animal has to be
test.
tested before you give it to them, because if your dog has heartworm and you give it Heart Guard, it'll kill the dog.
Yes.
You have to treat it for heartworm if it has heartworm.
Yes.
So, which is a different thing.
Talk to your vet and say, okay, this is what I'm experiencing. What do you suggest would be the best for my situation? And they'll tell you, okay, I think you should use this and this, or I think you should use this. But the only true way to rid fleas and ticks is to treat your house and yard and keep it treated throughout the year, because we live in an area to where they're around almost all year long. And it's less.
Hold on. Is that us? Is that us going out right now?
This is a coordinated monthly test of the broadcast stations in our area. Equipment that can quickly warn you during emergencies is being tested. If this had been an actual emergency such as flash flood, fire, or tornado, official messages would have followed this alert tone. This concludes this test of the emergency alert system.
All right, sorry about that. That's 2 days in a row. They tried to test. I'm thinking yesterday's test didn't work.
Maybe.
And so that was because this time we got the talk and everything, and we just got tones yesterday. So I'm thinking
it was a pre-warning that there was going to be a futuristic one.
Yeah.
It was teaching you the future.
Well, and that's I don't want to get too inside baseball, but the emergency broadcast system is its own entity that works a certain way. It works well and is antiquated all at the same time, if that makes sense, because it's a daisy chain. The actual emergency alert system is basically a glorified daisy chain. It starts from the one entity, and then there's a flagship TV or radio station that gets it, and then they send it to the next and send it to like like I think in the scope, I don't remember in the scope, but at some point we used to get it from KBIM. Now I think we're the ones that send it to KBIM. I don't know, but there's a whole daisy chain thing for that, and so that's what they're testing to make sure it all works and goes and as advertised.
So that way, when there truly is an emergency, we can all properly know, or it can work properly.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that's the inside baseball there. But anyway, we move on back to dogs and cats.
So it is actually cheaper to treat and prevent the yard and house and pet than it is to rid them. So once you have them, if you don't take control of it, it's going to be very costly.
Absolutely.
It can make your pet very sick, end up in the hospital.
Yeah, you get back to what I was telling you earlier.
Lots of emergency vet bills. When you can go to several stores here in town, Roswell Livestock, Roswell Seed, Tractor Supply.
And to be honest, it's pretty simple to treat. A lot of the things I had dealt with, you literally hook it up to a garden hose and it mixes with the water and you just spray the yard. And I only did one treatment and it killed everything. I did a second later, but after the first one, it was almost, I didn't see one thing after the first one.
So I just did our yard yesterday. And so typically in the summer months, if you're in an area where it's bad, I would do like a once a month treatment just to keep them away. Because if you're only treating when you see them, it's too late.
Well, and here's also the problem. Maybe your neighbor's not.
Right. And that's a lot of the problem is people's neighbors are not. And so when you're treating your yard, it pushes them back to your neighbor's yard. But when you stop treating, they come back.
Yeah.
So to keep them away, keep your area taken care of and treated.
And then take your neighbors out to dinner and encourage them to treat their yards.
Right. And what I do, and this is just me, like, we have no neighbor that's close enough
you're
for
out in the county in the country,
for us.
So,
But however, that's a bad area to be because ticks are everywhere.
Well, I was like, you got to spray acres of land to get to build a buffer.
So when we were inside city limits, I would spray 2 feet over into my neighbor's yard and create a 2-foot barrier. And then I would do the entire alley behind the house and then 2 feet on the other neighbor's side.
I like it.
Just so that way it keeps
it's
a barrier.
A little bit of protection there.
It is. And unfortunately, not just do they come from the ground. You have stray animals that are running around. They can have fleas and ticks. They can drop them.
Yeah.
Birds pick them up and eat them. They drop them.
Humans will transform them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we are in peak season for fleas and ticks.
Since we're talking this real quick, I've never had a flea or tick problem inside my house ever. Not looking for one, but I always hear things like 7 dust is great for that. Is that wives' tale or is that something to that?
Okay, it is, but there are more effective things that are a lot more pet friendly.
I gotcha.
So 7 dust is pet friendly, but you have to do it more often.
Okay.
Than if you were to do like a once a month spray.
Gotcha.
So
the professional stuff's still better than mom's home solutions kind of thing on this one.
Kind of, sort of, yes.
Okay.
Like if you don't have a big flea and tick issue in your area, like you keep your yard treated and you're just doing the 7 dust in the house, that's great. Because that also wards off
But if you're trying
ants,
to correct a problem, then you need to get a little bit more.
But if you're trying to correct a problem, do not.
Makes sense.
You need to use the spray.
Gotcha. So for maintenance, it's perfect.
Yes.
But if you've got initial, defesting to do, then you need the big guns to do that.
So if you are treating your house, yard, and pet, the safest thing to do is remove your pet from the house in a safer area, spray the inside of the house, and then go outside. Because as you spray outside, they're going to try to get away from it and go inside. So if you start on the inside and push them out and then go spray outside, they have nowhere to go.
Kind of like when you're laying tile or do something like you got to do it the right way or you're going to get caught in the middle.
Yes. Yeah. And so the majority of sprays that you can buy over the counter that are legal for you to use that don't require a pesticide license are pet friendly. That just has to be dry.
Gotcha.
So you take the animal out of the house or animals, treat the house, treat the yard, give it a couple hours, let it dry, bring the pet back in.
And of course, if you don't feel comfortable doing that stuff, then you can hire a professional exterminator and let them do their thing, and they'll do a great job. But I get that can be expensive, and if you're trying to save a little money here, you can do it at home, but be warned, you're going to have to be on top of it. Because if you're not, You're going to lose.
Well, we tell everybody Tempo. Tempo I've used for many, many years, and it's always worked great.
Good deal.
You can buy it several places locally. It is a liquid that you have to get a gallon sprayer, and it tells you how much per gallon. You mix it, shake it up, spray, and then let it dry, and then it's completely pet friendly.
Yeah.
And it works on a multitude of things: ants, roaches, spiders,
Fleas, ticks,
scorpions.
Yeah. All things that
all the deserty things.
All the things that nobody wants in their house.
Exactly.
So it might even be good even if you don't have pets. You might want to try that.
It really, honestly, like if you were having any type of pesticide issue, I would try Tempo because it's always worked great for us.
Well, and let's face it, your kids pick up as many of these things. Like if they're out playing in the backyard and everything else, guess what? They're getting ticks and fleas and everything that your dog is getting. They're playing in the backyard.
And
so you got to act accordingly.
We can get Lyme disease just the same as dogs,
Absolutely.
and it literally only takes one bite.
People will die from it.
Yes.
If it goes untreated and everything else, absolutely.
So this is the time of the year to start. If you have not already, start spraying, treating, and killing off before it becomes a bad issue.
What's the thing about an ounce of prevention prevents a pounds of pain later? And this is one of those scenarios where
exactly
a little bit of work up front will save you a whole load of nightmares happening down the road.
Exactly.
So, and again, this gets back to what we're talking about. When you come and adopt a pet from the Humane Society, we want it to be a positive experience. We want this pet to be a part of your family, a loving thing that all of a sudden you realize your family can't live without a pet because you realize the value of what a pet brings to the family.
Right.
But we also get that, coming with that pet comes responsibilities. It's just like a kid. You got to raise it. You got to take care of it. And that involves some pretty expensive things. Your medical, your, health and safety of that pet. That stuff can get pricey. But a lot of the health and safety for your pet is also the same for your kids. Okay, they don't need a rabies shot like your dog does. But protecting the yard, protecting everything else, it's the same thing for your family that you're doing for the dog.
It really is, just like you take your kids to go get vaccinations so they can go to school.
Mm-hmm.
You take your dogs to go get vaccinations so they don't get sick.
Exactly.
It's basically the same thing.
Same. And,
just 2 legs versus 4 legs.
And to be honest, we're living in a world where now pet insurance is a thing, and not only is it a thing, it's almost commonplace.
It's funny because I got an email the other day from Blue Cross Blue Shield, and that's where we have our medical insurance from. And it says, "Would you like to add your pet to your insurance plan?" And I was like,
I don't know how to feel about this.
I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, part of it, like, sure, I want the best for my pet, but it's like, wait a minute. Is everything going to get expensive? More expensive now? It's like, wait a minute. If I go to get my dog a tumor removed, is it going to cost just as much as me getting a tumor removed?
Yeah.
Or,
I'm like,
Yeah.
And like, I do understand there are a lot of things that are expensive when it comes to pets.
Well, medical equipment that they use is probably just as expensive and just as pricey.
It
and just the same technology they're using on the humans, They do a CAT scan on your dog. It's probably the same machine that they're CAT scanning you on, just to built to accommodate an animal as opposed to a human.
Right.
The technology inside of it's the same. The cost for it to build is the same. So I get that part, but at the same time, I'm like, dude, I can barely afford my own health care. Now I gotta, what I mean? And so it's like, ooh.
One of my board members, her daughter lives in Texas and had an emergency with her dog.
Yeah.
And for like 3 days at the vet was $3,500. And I was like, that's like astronomically expensive.
It is.
So if pet insurance would have helped at that point, I don't know. But it's something, you could look into.
Sure. I would absolutely, if you've got a dog, especially if you have a smaller breed or a pug, like any of those dogs we're talking about that require more medical screenings and more medical health, it's probably a good thing. But if you have a dog that's less likely for that and maybe is predominantly indoors, doesn't roll out in the fields and everything, maybe that dog you can do a case by case basis here. But particularly if you've got like pugs and boxers and ones that are constantly having breathy and those kind of issues, then it might be to your benefit to have something in place like that. But, again.
Also, before going and getting pet insurance, make sure your vet accepts that insurance.
That would be a bummer, too, if you spend all this money on insurance that your vet don't take.
Yes.
And
so That's, one thing that, people don't realize is, not everybody takes insurance. So if your vet is saying this is what we offer, then you're pretty sure that they're going to take it.
And to be honest, that's a red flag. Like if you notice a lot of entities not taking your insurance, that's usually a red flag that your insurance is not very good.
Right. Yeah.
Just a tip.
Yeah. Change your insurance.
And that works on the human level and the pet level.
It does.
Like if you find out that no one takes your dental insurance, maybe it's because there's some problems with your dental insurance. But anyway, that's another story for another day.
Yeah, right? Now, when they start offering dental insurance for dogs, oh my.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
but,
I think we're a ways there because we're just now getting to a point where people are thinking about brushing dogs' teeth and stuff. You know what I mean?
It's been around for
bazillions
of years.
But most of us think, you give them a milk bone, they're covered. You know what I mean? That's kind of the mindset for most dog owners. I mean, yes, you have some that are like, nope, come here, Spike, and they're in there. I don't think most dog owners do that.
If I tried to brush my dog's teeth, I'd probably get bit.
Yeah.
They're like, no, what are you putting in my mouth?
Right.
Now, if I put my hands in their mouth and I play with them, they're like, fine, whatever.
Right.
But if I'm putting some object in their mouth, they're going to be like, oh,
yeah,
no.
They're going to give you
But
the
they
business.
sell, the Greenies, the Minties, the Oral-V something.
Right.
And that are dental sticks that are the opposite.
But even with those, you're still supposed to technically brush every once in a while, right? Like those are...
Yeah,
like,
or you just take them and go get a dental done
Sure.
and let the professionals do it.
And that's kind of where I'm saying. But we're kind of going that world, but I think most of us are still that...
And there's
I've
little
never
dogs.
brushed my dog's teeth in my whole life.
Little dogs are the ones that have more of a dental issue, or the dogs that have like underbites and overbites.
Yeah.
They have like the genetic issue. So those are the majority of the ones
makes
that they're
sense.
looking to want us to brush their teeth.
Well, and the worst, we had a little dog that got something in its mouth, some kind of bacteria or something. And my God, I have never smelled worse bad breath. I mean, you literally couldn't even go in the room. Like as soon as that dog started panting in the room, you cleared it out. It smelled like death.
Yeah.
And we fixed it, obviously, but I think in all the existence of bad breath in anything and anyone, that was by far the most horrifying I've ever experienced.
It's definitely when you have an infection in your mouth, our breath gets bad.
I'm
But
sorry I'm
on a
laughing because I'm just
dog-
remembering of the time when I did that, and I just remember our friend just saying, and I can't even say it on the radio, it was like, "Brr, brr, Mike, it's your dog." Because he walked in, smelled it, and he wasn't polite about it.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I was laughing because I was thinking of that moment when he said that. It was funny.
And then you're like, I don't know. Take a smell.
Right?
But little dogs are more common to have dental issues.
Makes sense.
And so those are the ones more so that they're saying, brush their teeth,
she's a
keep the
little dog,
tartar
so-
off, and all of that, because it helps prevent from having
I also
issues.
wonder, too, it's because generally we feed little dogs sometimes differently than big dogs.
Because they think little dogs don't have the exact jaw power to chew the food, but they actually do. That's just more of humans.
But I think there might be
feeling
something to that. It's
sympathy.
what we feed them versus big dogs get a little different diet. So I wonder if that comes into play.
A lot of people give canned food to little dogs because they think that they can't chew the dry dog food. They can chew it.
My grandmother, because that's how we ended up with this little dog. It was hers, and then she passed, and so we took the dog in. But Grandma used to cut up chicken gizzards and boil chicken gizzards, and that's all that dog ate. And it was full. But by the time we said, my mom was not about to be cutting chicken gizzards. She's like, no, you eat dry dog food like your other dogs do. But I'm going to guess that contributed to some of that.
Yes,
her early days
because
of
they
just
have to have the hardness to scrape the stuff off.
Now, that being said, you can mix it up, but they got to have a little bit of everything in there. You got to do that. And like you recommend, depending on the dogs, you do both. You put some moist dry food, throw the canned food, throw in some dry food in there as well. Sometimes it also helps slow the dog down from eating if they eat. Because a lot of times, especially big dogs, they'll wolf it down and throw it right back up because they ate.
And they now have these fun maze bowls that make dogs slow down, which is really good because if they do eat too fast, they can throw up or they can flip their stomach.
Yeah. Cats, I heard, put rocks in the food, like not pebbles, but like bigger rocks, mix it in the food, and that forces the cat to slow down to eat.
Oh, they have maze bowls for cats now.
Yeah, do they?
Yeah.
This is just stuff I've seen online over the years and all that. So to be honest, actually, that one my my sister-in-law swears by with their cat.
Huh.
And so she's the one I picked that one up from. I don't do it at my house, although one of them I probably should. She has a little eats till she pukes problem that I need to rectify.
Get her a maze bowl.
I just saw the time. We do need to talk about what's going on.
This Saturday at the thrift store.
Yes.
They're doing 50% off the entire store
Nice.
in lieu of Mother's Day on Sunday.
All right.
So come down. The entire store, doesn't matter, shoes, clothes, anything that's in the store is going to be 50% off.
If you don't sleep on it, the thrift store will have a lot of gifts for mom there.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's brand new or practically brand new.
They've got some really nice purses, and I'm only saying this because I'm trying to encourage other people to go buy them.
So she doesn't?
So I don't want to.
For the sake of John, please go buy these purses.
I saw one, I was like, oh, and then I was like, keep walking, if it's still there tomorrow. Oh, keep walking, if it's still there tomorrow. Oh, man, somebody needs to come and buy this purse. So they have a lot of purses, wallets. They have a lot of nice shoes out.
Excellent.
They have a weight bench. So,
great.
Any men, want to come and get some.
Maybe mom wants to work out. Buy mom a workout bench. I mean, it's not the most romantic, but check first on that one.
Ask her, hey, Mom, how do you feel about a workout station?
Yeah.
And then if she's like, oh, yeah, I'd love one, then go get it for her.
Yeah.
But
you don't give up with an idea because that'll end
if
heavy.
you just want to go get something to work out on and you want to take the opportunity to receive 50% off, come down.
Excellent.
So all day Saturday, 10 to 4:30.
Excellent.
Anything in the store is 50% off.
Not to mention, of course, some of you graduating and stuff, be going off to college.
Yeah.
Now's the time to start procuring those microwaves and coffee pots and
Yes.
dorm furniture and things for that now. And I'm telling you, because you're going to go to college and destroy this stuff. Do not buy brand new expensive furniture and appliances for your dorm room. It'll get destroyed maybe before your freshman year's even out. But perhaps might last 3 years depending on how good you are with it. But that being said, it'll get destroyed. So come to the thrift store, get stuff that's practically brand new or barely used, get it for a tenth of the price that it was brand new. And if it falls or knocks because of a kegger or something happened and it broke, no big deal.
Just go to another thrift store.
So, but please, college kids do not take care of things.
No.
They do not deserve nice things at that level. Give them the stuff that's. I mean, if you want them nice things, certainly don't pay for the new nice price. Go buy it where someone else has already
Yes.
put it through its paces.
And they have a lot of stuff. So
Yeah.
they have a lot of clothing, curtains, pots, pans, glasses, plasticware. So that way, if you want to send your kids off to college with plastic, so they're not breaking glass or
Yes.
throwing glass at people's heads.
Save money on bills to get stitches.
Save money on bail money. Yeah.
That's right.
So-
but yeah, now's the time to start thinking
It
about
is.
that because everyone else will do that here in about a month and pickings will get slim and all that good stuff. So now's a good time to do that.
And again, like Mike said a little bit earlier, if you have donations to leave, please bring it during business hours.
We have a bad problem with
We
people
do.
stealing.
We have the second we leave, we can turn and go to our surveillance cameras and just sit and watch. Not even 5 minutes after we leave, somebody's pulling up, looking for stuff, or they're even parked in the back corner of the parking
They
lot
know exactly
waiting.
when you go home.
Yeah,
they know.
They wait for somebody to pull up and drop stuff off,
And they don't even
go,
care anymore. They're just not hiding it. They're just straight up bold about it. Yeah.
No. And people will leave donations outside. They'll rummage through, take whatever they want, and then scatter the rest through the parking lot, through the park. They're picking up stuff that's being donated, and they're vandalizing the
And that's
shelter,
part that
the
makes you
thrift
mad.
store,
It's like-
and it does.
Like if you're in need and you need help, I get that. But why do you got to go being destroying about it? Not because really, if there was any chance of someone else getting a chance to use this, you've just ruined that.
Right.
And so that's
if you're in that bad of a need and you're hurting and you need help, come in during business hours. Talk to Camille.
You'll be amazed at what people are willing to come
Say,
and talk.
hey, this is my situation. I've got 7 kids and I need help.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Camille's not going to be like, get out of the store. She's
Right.
going to tell you, okay, let's see what we can do to help you.
Sure.
You help us, we'll help you.
Absolutely.
But, when you're coming and you're stealing, you're vandalizing, you're making it harder for us to want to help people who truly need help because one bad apple ruins it for the whole tree.
And by the way, bring your 7 kids down. We'll put them to work down here, and we'll volunteer, and we'll get everyone to show them the value of what good stuff's happening here.
Right.
And perhaps teach your kids the value of service, too. So let's do all that. That's what I'm saying. Talk. Come in. If you've got issues, tell us your stories. It's no different than like when people give up pets for adoption. A lot of them don't do it, but they just don't have the resources, whether it's the space or they're moving, And so some of these and it's owners, and it's tough, but at the same time you get it. You get life happens, and they much rather you come down, bring it in, saying, I am so sorry, I can't take care of this animal anymore, than you just turning it loose or giving it to someone that may or may not really want the dog. Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that people do. Please, if you're having a issue with animals or you're needing help, please don't break in and do these things. Talk. And I get it. Drug addicts, they do their thing, but let's stop.
Don't be shameful. Don't feel ashamed. Yeah. Everybody hits a spot in their life where they need help.
We'd rather give you help than you destroying and trying to navigate it and then really hindering other people that need help just like you do.
Right.
And so that's at the end of the day. And so we want to, and the only way that we can have the money and have everything to keep that facility open. So we have a place where pets can go that they will not be euthanized. They'll be there till we find them a good home. And they're taken care of and loved until the day they find their permanent home. The only way we can do that is by people supporting the thrift store and donating and buying items and keeping that going, because your memberships and all that help, but what really keeps the day-to-day operations going is people buying clothing, people buying furniture, purses, and stuff from that thrift store. You're saving a bunch of money, but you really are giving these people a platform to help these animals.
Yes.
And that's exactly what it's all about. So it's one thing if you steal from a store, corporate. I mean, I'm not trying to propose one other thing, but the damage you're doing by stealing from the Humane Society is a double-fold thing. It has actually a bigger impact than literally looting
we can't write it off on our taxes.
Exactly. It will. Enough people do that, the doors close for good. That's what happens, and it takes a lot less people for that to do that. If this is happening on a daily basis, and it keeps happening like this, the Humane Society will not be able to operate. That's just the plain truth.
It is.
We got to do something to fix it.
And we appreciate all donations.
Absolutely.
But we would love to receive the donations during our business hours.
Yeah. So
and if you have stuff that you need to haul off to the dump, don't leave it outside our door, because we have to pay to haul that off.
Again, you're costing money to the Humane Society, which that could have gone back to pay for a vet bill or provide litter or food for an animal in the shelter. So that's what this is about, and that's what all of this is about at the end of the day. So come shop. Come support it. Big thank you to our Wednesday 10 o'clock club that hangs out there, patiently waiting every Wednesday to get there. Thank you for supporting, and keep coming every Wednesday. Love to see more of you. And of course, please. And when you do see people doing shit, call the police. Shade them. If you're living in that neighborhood and you're seeing this going on, call the police. Do your part to help report this stuff.
Yeah.
So we can at least cut it down. I know eliminating is one thing, but at least get to a point where this isn't happening on a daily basis.
Or if you want to do volunteer security services, call up to the office and talk to me.
There you go. See what we can do.
And get somebody staged up in the parking lot.
There you go. RoswellHumane.org. You can go see all of our pets that are needing homes. The ones that have not available, they're in quarantine because of weight or need shots or something like that. They are looking for a home. So if you fall in love with one of those, stay attached. And as soon as it comes out of quarantine, book it on down there and we'll get the process started here. And of course, visit that thrift store. Give out hours for everything. One more.
The kennels are Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 12 and 1 to 4:30. And then the thrift store is Wednesday through Saturday, 10 to 4:30.
Very good. Come on down. And like I said, new stuff on Wednesdays. That's the 10 o'clock club. They open at 10. There is a bevy of people waiting for the doors open at 10 to see what the new stuff is.
So if you want to be a part of the 10 o'clock club, you got to bring them coffee or donuts.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe they'll let you be in at the 9:59 club if you really do that.
Hey. You're first at the door today.
I promise nothing, but can't hurt to try, right? Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
As always. 9:58, quick break before I'm kicked off the radio. Don't go away.
New Mexico Governor Lujan Grisham has pursued an agenda to seriously impair and remove your Second Amendment rights to use, own, or purchase firearms and firearm-related items in our state. Last legislative session, District 27 Republican Senator Greg Nibert worked effectively and successfully with the NRA and other pro-Second Amendment groups
to defeat the governor's attempt to ban or register firearms and accessories. We must retain legislators like Senator Nybert, who has the proven knowledge, skills, and experience to stop the liberal progressives from imposing upon our constitutional rights. Senator Nybert is the only candidate running for Senate District 27 to be rated A and endorsed by the NRA. Please vote to retain Senator Greg Nybert for Senate District 27.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Senate.
You don't have to live with a non-healing wound. The Wound Care and Hyperbaric Medicine Center at Artesia General Hospital provides compassionate care to people experiencing chronic or complicated wounds. Led by certified family nurse practitioner Rochelle McIntyre, our wound care team will work with you to build your customized treatment plan. Podiatrist Jennifer Chow and Joseph Krupa also specialize in lower limb wound care, and we are proud to have state-of-the-art hyperbaric oxygen chambers, a proven treatment that promotes successful healing. Visit artesiageneral.com/wound to learn more.
Who doesn't think the dentist is a big deal? I know what you're thinking. What will they find? How much will it hurt? What are my options? Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher, and I am here to tell you that here at Carabelli Dental, it is our job to put you at ease. With options like sedation dentistry, you can rest assured that regardless of what dental work you might need, you can get it done while resting comfortably. Call our office now and speak to our knowledgeable staff about setting up your new patient appointment.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental or call 575-622-4455.
You may be wondering why an Eastern New Mexico rancher wants to be part of our state Senate. The answer is simple. I want our conservative values heard in Santa Fe. My name is Pat Boone, and I'm running for New Mexico Senate District 27. This beautiful state is primarily rural land, and my family's been ranching here since 1884. I'll fight for your land rights, your parental rights, and your right to bear arms. I'd appreciate your Republican primary vote.